Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve, OMI, Earth 2, 4chan, GrumpyCat update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. For not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Everyone comment F down below, also to pay respects to my shoulder. I don't know what happened with it. I haven't been able to go to the gym in a couple days. Oh God, we have a lot to go over today. There is so much. Oh God, oh God, oh God. We have so many things going on. There's going to be a documentary made about everything going on right now one day, and it's going to be great. And I can't wait for y'all to watch it. But let me tell you, things are stressful AF. But in a good way, in a really good way. So we'll go over. I guess we'll do GrumpyCat first. GrumpyCat is over on. We finally have some movement over the last couple of days. We had both the GrumpyCat official Twitter and we had Pro the Doge being like, finally, as if something was finally checked off in the background. Was it the official Peabody tier 1 law firm that had gone and sent their letter? And, you know, maybe. I don't think that was it, though, because, again, I feel like a lot of that stuff was priced in. A lot of that stuff was like, oh, hey, there is no legal reasons for GrumpyCat to ever have to face like a lawsuit or whatever. Not the token. Again, it is community driven. Like there are no leaders. Like remember back in the day, this is going way back, like 2011, Occupy Wall Street, where like cops were losing their crap and they were just arresting people just because they thought they were the leaders. And like there were no leaders. Same thing with GrumpyCat and 4chan. Like there are people behind the token and there are people that are going and really trying to get some of these exchange listings and all that. But for the most part, this is community driven. Same thing with 4chan. 4chan actual creator just happened to go and be like, yeah, I'm not about this. And, you know, I remember telling people 4chan, we were like $800,000 market cap. I think we're going to get in this. We got in this. We have an $8 million market cap now. I finally told Pro the Doge. I like yelled at him. I felt a little bad. Not really, because I've been telling him since it was under like a $3 million market. I'll read you exactly what I wrote to him. It was a little mean. I might have to apologize. Slum Doge says, quick alpha on DGen meme coin play sent to my subscribers here soon. So I said, Doge, I've been telling you about 4chan since it was under a $3 million market cap. It's now over an $8 million market cap, and it's still not on any exchanges. But it will be next week. Put your hand in your pocket, grab those huge balls I know you have, and get this bread. Get this done. Again, thank you for all the messages saying, hey, thanks for paying for X, Y, and Z. Just because everyone that did go in there, they're up now. I don't know how many people are taking profit. You never went broke by taking a profit. If you want to sell out your whole position, do whatever now. If you want to, sure, great. Be advised that can come with a little regret. If you go and you say like, hey, you know what? I 8x my money. Now's a good time to get out. Sure. You know, you did not lose money. You definitely, locked in those gains. However, I have known people, especially very recently, that said, hey, I put in $700 on something, went up to $2,700. I cashed out, made a couple grand, felt great, until it went to the moon and found out I could have probably made an additional 100K had I not sold. So again, am I telling you not to sell? No, I don't give financial advice, only to Dashi. But these things, again, meme coin season, and not only that, you're going to have a fudge ton of money going into just the market in general over the next couple years. I mean, let's start off with some of these some of the stuff we had today. Well, start with the news. CoinDesk going on and saying the second largest crypto exchange by volume, OKX, has won a preparatory license in Dubai, where the firm plans to add staff at its new office. And Akomi went and retweeted saying, great to see one of our exchange partners expanding into new regions. We are on OKX, so I thought that's pretty legit. Watcher Guru reports this morning, just in $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock to file for Bitcoin ETF. The CoinDesk reports, and they wound up doing it again later today. Can't go over that. You have in the thumbnail, Iron Man's greatest foe is back. The controller lives. This is the first appearance of Howard Stark, which is the father of Iron Man, father of Tony Stark. It all started with him. He's the key. Comment down below if you get that reference. Really obscure reference. That one I didn't really expect to go and sell out. I was like, I don't really know this one. I mean, he's not really a major character in the MCU. And there were only 7,500 comics as opposed to 10,000. So like, okay, well, it's definitely going to be less popular. But it sold out at least within an hour and a half. It might have sold out before then. I didn't really check it because I wasn't going for it. When I went to look, I was like, oh, wow, this sold out. I didn't know how many they were going to sell. So Veve made $52,500 just on a particular comic that I don't know how what the historical value of that is. You'd have to ask Sleeping Comics, maybe My Collectibles, Comics Crypto, some of those guys. Heads up, finally. All right, so we have Petteri Ilmonen. I don't know who that is, but he says, definitely working the heads up. Great that it's finally implemented. And he was talking about the new airdrop or the new drop system that they have, where they have a push notification saying new drop incoming. Iron Man is about to be dropped. I haven't gone on and taken a look at how to do that, just because I know when every drop is. Maybe we could do it for the elemental thing tomorrow. Oh, it doesn't even say. Like if I go over to the drops and I go to tomorrow's drop, the elemental drop that we have tomorrow, it just says like dropping soon. It doesn't give us a way to put on that notifications. I'll try to find out exactly how to do that so I can tell everyone. But either way, people are clearly getting it. You can go on and take a look. When you have a bunch of people, like especially like the new whale that I've been advising, it says like, oh, Chavez, I didn't get the comic. Why didn't you tell me? It's like I tell you, like the drops when they happen are at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You should know by now, but I know sometimes whales are busy. You have to hold the hand. You have to give them a call. Hey, there's a drop about to happen. Oh, cool. Copy that. So that's pretty interesting. I feel like they're going to get a lot more buyers now. And had they not had that push notification, I'm not sure they might have sold this out. I mean, now you're getting people. A lot of people stop trying to do Veve because they can never get drops. And like, well, the drop is happening for X amount of dollars. I can't get the drop. And I try to go buy on the market and it's like 3 times the price. Most people that have Veve or that had left Veve had left because of that reason, because they could never get a drop, depending on what area they were in, depending on the speed of their cell phone, speed of their connection. So they can't get the drop. They get frustrated. Like, I don't want to pay X amount of retail in the marketplace. And also, you didn't have cash out. There was a lot. Veve, a year and a half ago was very different than Veve now. Like, importantly different. And a lot of people that left, they left because of those frustrations. And now that they say, oh, hey, there's a reminder, that they're coming from a place where if they didn't hit the button exactly as it was right then and there, they wouldn't get it. And that still happens today, usually for the bigger drops, Luke Skywalker, Lamborghini, etc. But that was you could drop a pen, you could drop Ticonderoga pencils, you could drop muscle milk protein. It doesn't matter what you would have dropped a year and a half ago, it would have sold. It does not matter. However, I will say that now you're getting a lot of people coming back, and they don't necessarily need to be new clients. They don't necessarily need to be new people coming off the street that were onboarding. It could just be old people coming back, which I like a lot better. It's a lot cheaper to do that. What they're thinking is, hey, I have to buy this right now or else I won't get it. And maybe that's going to put us over the top in order to sell things out. Something else I want to go over is Cryptoys had rolled out their ambassador program today. And the ambassador program was, I have a couple screenshots of what they're offering and what they are. Oh, she looks like a Titan. Screenshots about what they're offering, and then also what they are what you're expected to do as an ambassador. So for Cryptoys as an ambassador, what you're expected to do is actively participate in Cryptoys social conversations around product launches. Most likely that's just, tweeting a couple things on Twitter. I think it would be, I don't want to say wrong, it would be asking a lot to be like, oh, yes, we're going to have this live stream. Join us on this live stream. And we're going to join on, we're going to have a Discord spaces and we're have Twitter space. Like, I just feel like that's a lot to ask. But I'm thinking the minimum would probably just be to tweet a couple things, retweet something. Aside from that, you have to create content around all of our available collections and platform experiences. I don't know how many drops they have. I know they did, obviously, Star Wars, that was recently. And then they had, God, what was it? He-Man. They had He-Man a year ago or last year. I don't know what they've had in between or if they have anything new coming. But when you have iJustine, again, 1.8 million followers over on Twitter, and I don't know if she did a YouTube video on it, a TikTok video on it, but you have one of the rewards that you have, which I'll get deeper into in a minute. One of the rewards that you have is commissions. Like if you have buy this with my code and I'll get a kickback. All these people that are really trying to get these ambassadorships, and you could apply. Anyone can apply. You can go and apply on their website. They have like 8,000 followers, 20,000 followers. How are you really going to compare with someone like iJustine that already has so much money? And again, I almost wish that they wouldn't have paid her for that and just let it grow organically. Now, again, they are funded. I think they're pretty well funded. They might have had the extra 50 grand to throw around, whatever it is. But when you have something like, you go and you pay her whatever her fee is, and then she does a video. How much of that actually translated to sales? I'm pretty sure that resulted in a net loss for them. However, they can go and they say, oh, well, we have iJustine as a partner. And then that can help bring on a bunch of other people like, oh, iJustine's on there. Like if any YouTuber with their salt or any low-level influencer like myself, if they want to be like, oh, me and iJustine work for the same person. We have the same client. And I could say I'm working shoulder to shoulder with this YouTube legend iJustine. So maybe that's part of their plan to go on and say, oh, hey, maybe they won't do it just for these perks because we haven't asked them to do a lot. But if we say they're also able to say they're partnered with iJustine, maybe that's an incentive to go do it. It's like why do people want to come to Veve? One, because they want to make money. Okay, you understand that. But also because you want to be shoulder to shoulder with Disney. If there's any artist out there, any project out there that can go and be like, oh, hey, we're shoulder to shoulder with Disney. Like we are on the same platform. That is freaking wild. Why do you have Sports Authority, Nike, and Adidas always all in the same parking lot? Because they share customers. You always have them in the same parking lot. You always have them in the same malls. You want to be where Disney is because that's where the money is. People go there for Disney and they'll shop around for other things. That's fine. I think that Cryptoys did a really, really good job in, yes, they got Disney, they got Star Wars, and they also got iJustine. So that should hopefully make some content creators want to go and just be part of that. And I hope that does really well for the space. Again, Veve is obviously killing it. Nobody's touching Veve, but I think it's better if we have some other companies like Cryptoys, and maybe my next guest will be able to go and shed some light on this as well. Hello, Lori. How's it going?
Hi, Randy. What's going on?
I am talking about the pros and cons of Cryptoys getting iJustine to promote for them and their new ambassador program. Have you taken a look at that?
I have not. Wait, what was the second part? Their
ambassador program where you can go and apply.
I have not seen that. No.
Yeah, so I was going over, I only got through two of the things. What they're going to expect you to do is actively participate in Cryptoys social conversations around their product launches. I'm guessing just doing some tweets and stuff, but they could ask for more, but I think that would be the minimum. You're supposed to create content around all of the available collections and platform experiences. So I know they have Star Wars and then He-Man. I don't know if they have any other stuff. And then they represent your region or community within the brand. I think same thing as making videos, and then network and collaborate with Cryptoys team and other ambassadors. So I think they're expecting you to do collab with other peeps. And here's what you get for doing that.
Yeah, I think Superstar Money is probably working with them, and I think Sean and Comics and Crypto are like the project a lot, which is good. We can all diversify. I like autograph, but so to be an ambassador, what kind of perks do you get? I guess I'm curious.
So you get free cubes, which I think is there things that you can go and like unlock and you get to see which ones they are. You get first looks, which I'm assuming is you get to know what's being released before everyone else. Mm-hmm. You get earned commission, and that's like the big perk. I think it's the only thing where you can go and you can get actually get paid. But I think what it is, you get like this code, and if somebody uses your code when they buy, you get a piece of it, which makes sense. I think that'll incentivize a lot of people. And then
Yep.
exclusive merch. And I think this can be done in one of two ways. The exclusive merch could be if you can get some things that nobody else has, and you can be like, oh, look at what I got. And, that's fun. But you could also go, and there shouldn't be a limited amount. I mean, the company wants to make money of how much you could buy. So maybe people can go and say, like, I'm going to buy 100 of everything of the exclusive merch and sell it to my top 100 supporters, and do something like that.
That is actually really smart. And I don't know if you remember us talking Monday about the benefits of being second and third. Sometimes it's not always good to be the first person because you get to learn. And I think right now, we are seeing the fact that Veve has been very slow to come around to this ambassador program, almost so much where I think it actually has caused some content creators to feel a little underappreciated, to say the least, by the team. So I think that's really smart of Cryptoys to do that. I have not invested yet. I want to get William on the Queen's Court. Will on the Queen's Court here. I'm working back and forth to try to get him. I need to know just a little bit more. I mean, they remind me a lot of Veve 2 years ago. They got a roadmap. They got a lot of promises or a lot of plans, I should say. No market, big additions. There's a lot of things that, I'm not there yet with them, but that doesn't mean I'm not there yet. If
So
that makes sense.
I'd imagine they know who you are, like the Queen of Spaces, Queen Veve. If they had asked you and they had said, hey, you don't have to apply to be an ambassador, you can just be an ambassador and you can go and we could waive that for you, would you do it? And why or why not?
I would do it if I got to have a conversation with Will and I got to learn and I truly believed in the NFTs or in it. If not, then the answer would be no. And I was investing. You know what I mean? Veve, absolutely, I invest. Autograph, I worked with Autograph on their Huddle Pass, and was doing some things for them. So because I do believe in Autograph, I like, I like goats, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I like goats and I like top level IP, and I like how far Veve is. So I need to learn more, Randy. I'm behind in Cryptoys. I saw the price of $40 and the high editions and the no market and Veve 2 years ago, and that gave me pause for now. But I need to learn more.
Bill Gardner says you're like a blue glowy from Star Wars. Is that what type of jersey you have on? Is that
Oh no, this is a Steelers jersey.
Is that a gray Steelers jersey?
Yeah, it's like gray with the yeah.
Nice. Okay, so there's the only thing that the thing that I love about them most is, as far as the ambassador program, would be the hey, you get like a code and then you can go and other people can purchase it and you get a kickback off it, which is great. That'll get a lot of people to do it. But the only issue I have right now is that if I did that, okay, well, people can put their money in, but they can't take their money out. Like that's kind of a little
reminiscent of anything.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it is Disney. I think they would do their homework, and so it's probably going to be fine. I would just feel a little bad if I said, "Oh, hey, do this," then suddenly, like, "Oh,
Yeah. I'm just a little behind on that project right now. I know it's there. I know there's a FA Leia, which that's good, right? I mean, if we're talking about first on the blockchain, that's good. I like that idea. I think they can compete in the space with Veve, but still, not in a good way compete. So, I don't necessarily have an issue with it, but it's just there's a lot of things on the plate. And I wouldn't want to just blindly kind of say, yeah, I'll put out content and bring you on Queen's Court and tweet for you and not pay attention and be in the project. But, like I said, that's just me.
So,
but, I like that. I like DC Comics, I mean.
Did you get the
drop
today? Did you get the Flash thing from the DC NFT?
I did. My husband got 3. and he got and I told him what he was going to get. He bought 3 and he bought 3 for me because I was in a meeting. And I said, you're going to get a common, an uncommon, and a legendary. And he's like the worst. He's so bad, Randy. He's like the worst. Even if the common's the good one, he gets the uncommon. Like, he can't pull shit. And he looked at me. He's like, yeah, right, Lori. And that's exactly what he got. And he said, well, what are you getting? I said, I'm getting 2 commons and an uncommon. And I ended up with 2 uncommons and a common. So,
but you said you got a legendary?
He did. Yeah, he did.
How much are those going for right now?
6 hours, 5 hours ago, they were 162. Don't know what they are now, but I guess there's rumor, and shame on me. I've just been looking at the comics, and if they're good comics, I go in and buy them. Other than that, I haven't been keeping up like, I was in the past with Bat Cows and everything going on, but I have been checking when a good comic comes out and seeing that they're going to, potentially have, like I said, I don't know if this is rumor or not, but if you get a legendary of the legendary, then there's kind of talk that it might be signed off by Todd or
Ooh.
wrong.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh God. Go ahead. Someone beat me in the comments. Go ahead. But that it's gonna actually be signed off. So I think that would be who's the head of DC Comics, Randy? Come on, help me out here.
James Gunn right now is the DCE or the DC. Yeah, I'm excited with you with the signed off, but I'm not. Yeah, no idea. I know James Gunn is doing the movies.
No. The creator, the DC comic, the person that's running the DC comic.
I actually don't know who's doing that right now.
Jim Lee.
Oh, all right.
Jim Lee. There we go. I'm so sorry. Please don't send hate mail. I'm so sorry.
Hate mail incoming.
That's kind of cool.
I think we're about to enter, I would say in the next, we're definitely doing it with meme coins right now, but I think we're about to enter the next bull run where you have BlackRock that had just filed for their Bitcoin ETF. They purchased about 6% of MicroStrategy, and Michael Saylor, just all he does is buy Bitcoin. Like, that's why I buy MicroStrategies, for the Bitcoin. I feel like we're finally getting towards like, hey, bull run's in sight. What are some things outside of NFT projects that you're going in and outside of OMI? Is it just outside like, hey, Bitcoin's the safest, or are you going to other things as well?
We would be safe. I mean, everything that we hold or that we talk about, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin, I'm not. Oh, we have some GrumpyCat. Thanks, Randy. But that was like a small little amount, but no. I think he likes XRP, a few other ones, but that's kind of his kind of area. But it's the safe stuff. I know right now. I think him and Crypto Rain have been talking, and he's Cardano, and I think it was down to 25 cents yesterday. I don't know where it is today. It looks like everything else dropped again today, but not as bad.
Yeah, Gary Gensler tried to screw them, but like, oh yeah, Cardano's a security, and suddenly it just it tanked. Now obviously they're not, but it's just Gary's just trying to call everything a security.
But yeah, that's the one right now that that we're really looking at as more money. As we're getting money here, money there, where do you put it? But it's hard because OMI, we bought in. Well, he bought in really low and up, and I bought in really hot. Well, 007. Yeah. That's how I remember that. So now he's like, well, why wouldn't you just buy, if you got this much, why wouldn't you just spend the same much and double your amount, right now? So, every day, Randy, every day, it's every day. Yeah. Let's buy a wall, every day we're just talking about, let's go buy this. Let's do this. Well, I'd rather do this. And it's like, we can't do everything, but Cardano's in the OMI and Cardano are in the lead right now, I would say, for us.
I have I don't know what was going on with BitForex today. The new whale I advise, he doesn't have a BitForex. He can't figure out like the Google Authenticator or anything, so I just buy it for him. And I couldn't trade USDC on BitForex today. Like, it would allow me to trade Bitcoin, which I could trade with USDC or USDT, but I couldn't take my USDC, sell it for USDT, and then buy OMI with it.
Mm.
So I just got more Bitcoin, but I don't. What do you use to buy it? To buy OMI? Do you use a Sendex, Forex?
Bit4X.
When was the last time you bought?
I don't know. Last week, 10 days ago, I think he last bought some.
Okay. I haven't had an issue ever buying on Bit4X except for today. And I messaged him on like a Twitter. I tried to find something on Reddit. There was nothing. So I was like, hope everything's okay.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Isn't that over in China?
yeah. So I was like, I don't have anything on there. Anyway, I just bought Bitcoin
Right,
at $100.
right.
So I don't have anything on there anyway. But it was like, oh man, this sucks. Outside of that, yeah, what are your thoughts on the whole fire Gary Gensler hashtag that have been trending, and the whole there was a bill called the SEC Stabilization Act where they're legit trying to fire Gary Gensler? Is that something you pay attention to, or is that something like it's just noise?
I have been a little bit. I've been paying a little bit of attention to it in some of the chats, some of the group chats I'm in. I've been seeing a lot of hustle around that. I guess overall my thought is pretty much wherever there's an opportunity to make money with taxes and kind of and be control, it's going to be always hard to fight. You know what I mean? Like there's always, you know what I mean? There's always going to be a way. So, part of me with the regulatory oversight and the government really trying to get more involved in securities, et cetera. I think if the people at the top with the money want it to happen, it's going to happen. I mean, sad but true, So I have a bleak outlook on it in that respect. I feel like, JP Morgan and, they'll all get together like on some island and with their billions and be like, this is what we shall do. And it will be done, but what can we do now?
When the World Economic Forum gets together, and you think that all gets discussed behind closed doors, tell me, Lori, what other conspiracy theorist stuff are you into? Because I'm all about that, as you know.
That is not a conspiracy. That is just whenever 0.001% of the population holds 90% of the wealth. Come on, you know what I mean? Come on.
So speaking of conspiracy theories, what do you think about, like a week ago, all of the videos and the 911 call and the body cam footage and the dash cam footage coming out in Las Vegas, where apparently aliens had landed in this person's backyard? They tried to start like the farming equipment. They couldn't. They saw the 911. Did you see any of that? Did you see the 911 call?
I heard about it. I didn't see it. How about this? It wouldn't surprise me. Let's put it that way. With the size of just our galaxy and the size of space, the probably, the probability of us being alone is, really, really low. So it would not surprise me, Randy, either way. I mean, really, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that, like, yeah, sure. I don't think people are crazy that believe in them. I think if I saw one, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it. You know what I mean?
So you'd have no reaction, like, oh, it's an alien. Nice.
I mean, statistically, it makes sense that, like, the size that there would be life, we wouldn't be the only ones so special. You know what I mean? And I can also reason that doesn't necessarily negate God. You know what I mean? There's no reason he could have got bored with Earth and be like, I'm going to create this too.
More creations. Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't believe, but I don't not believe. And I only don't believe because I've never seen or I have no empirical data personally to support it. But it wouldn't surprise me.
So are you a subscriber to metaphysical solipsism?
Oh, obviously not, because I don't even know what the hell that means.
Oh, okay. So it's the notion that what I can see is what is real, and anything that is not, that I can't see, that I can't ascertained for myself is not real. Like it's the notion that, okay, I exist and you exist and we're existing, but it could be, you could all just be part of my mind as well. And anything that I'm not seeing is things that my mind can't conceive, therefore it's not real.
Anything that I can, that there's empirical data on, I believe in. You know what I mean? Earth is round. If, like I said, if it was documented, whatever, anything that's empirical data, including what I can and I can't see. Like I can't see an atom, but I believe
Yeah.
that there's an atom. You know what I mean? So from that standpoint, I tend to believe in facts and what I can see, 100%. But that doesn't mean that I haven't seen some things that, or I know things or believe certain things to be true that you've never seen or don't have empirical data.
There's a famous experiment. It was Thomas Young's double slit experiment. Do you know what that is?
I do not know of that one. I thought you were going to say Schrodinger, but go ahead.
Oh, I love him too. But
Yeah.
so he did a experiment saying, okay, I'm gonna make like a candle, like for a light. I'm gonna put a green shade over it so that it only emits green light.
Mm-hmm.
And he put in a split in this piece of paper, so all of the particles or waves go in there. And then he put another piece of paper with two slits in them to see how it would react, how it went into one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows that depending on whether you look at the experiment or not, will depend on how the light reacts. It could act as a wave if you don't look at it, or if you do look at it, it acts as a particle. So it changes its behavior based on whether or not it's being looked at. Every single time it's been done, the exact same outcome has happened. So with that being said, I have in December, I was on a cruise, some girl Brittany, and I was just looking at the water, and it just looked like graphics rendering in a video game.
Okay.
Do you think that because that double split experiment shows that, oh, this is very unique to something like a game renderance, do you think that it's possible that we are all just computer code and none of this is real and this is just a simulation?
Yes.
My man.
I do. I think, like, what if we're like a video game for the aliens? You know what I mean? Like, I think that sometimes, because sometimes shit makes no rhyme or reason. Like, you know what? Let's just, like, whatever. Let's just make this person win the lottery and see what the hell happens. You know what I mean? So absolutely. I believe that's 100% possible. And yeah. Yeah. And the damn Ancient Aliens. I don't know. Do you ever watch that?
I spent a little more time than I would like to admit watching that. Yes. And some of it's like,
fascinates me.
yeah, so it's like, maybe it depends on what mood I'm in, because some of it I feel like I'm Thor, or it's like, really, is that what really happened? And then sometimes like, oh, maybe, oh my god, maybe this is true.
Yep. Like when they show the DNA, I don't like all the different things, and I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So bringing it back to a little bit of
But I
reality
believe
here.
overall, though, I do believe there's a higher being. Now, whether that is the guy that, the 10-year-old alien that's screwing with us all, you know what I mean? Or whether that's your traditional, Christian God, etc., or, whether it's something else. I believe that there's a power greater than us.
Yeah. I when I think about that, I feel it's like a very convenient excuse, but it also makes sense. All right, so there's the argument, oh, why would like God let bad things happen? Because there are some bad things that happen that I feel like there's no reason for it.
Second, yeah, agree.
But there's they addressed this in Avengers 2012, where where they go Loki and
the
Thor.
Bible, and you quoted Marvel. I spit out my teeth.
You were expecting the scholarly thing, like, well, in Avengers 2012. No.
I was expecting in Genesis 2:17.
I am not that smart. but knowledge comes from movies. Thor and Loki are on that cliff. They just escaped. Thor just took Loki away from the aircraft that some of the Avengers were on, and Loki kind of yells at Thor and be like, when was the last time you stepped on Earth? And it was in the first movie. It's like, before then was the last time you stepped on Earth. As like, these humans, they kill each other in droves, and then Thor says like, well, you missed the point of ruling, brother. The throne would suit you ill, meaning that you have to let people like do their thing, because if you touch it and you interfere with it, then okay, you make that mistake. It's like, I think it's baby birds or what it is. Like, if you mess with them, then the mom won't come back. It's
Won't
like,
touch them.
yeah. So if you mess with them, then it messes up the experiment. So I think that might, you might want to help the little kid that has cancer. You might want to cure him like that. But then if there's no medical reason to it, people going into it, I don't know. Maybe that's just a convenient excuse, or maybe that's how, like, what would you do if you had this, if you could make a race of, I don't know, of anything, like an ant farm, or, do you try to help out one, and then that, well, if I help out this one that sets a precedent for helping everyone else with every little problem, but then this one that maybe shouldn't have made it because its genetics maybe aren't there, that would weaken the race as a whole. And you wouldn't have the strong ants. You'd have this weak ant breeding. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't know either, but I know it's a cruel world. And, until we evolve, men, and I mean men, and, men and women are going to fight over land and property and riches, etc. And, fight for power and control until we get, to be higher level thinking people. It's never going to end. I've been watching a lot on like some of the North Korea. I don't know if you ever watched the lady that escaped.
Yeah.
And that is just something. She's like, we have no term for love. We have no, like there's no term for empathy. She's like, I just listened to that, and she's like, and the thing is, they don't even know how, like, they don't even know. They just think, what I'm like, that's life. Like, they have no idea that they're oppressed, or that Kim isn't their God. They don't know. So.
So I didn't know that they said there's no term for love like that. That touched me. I'm gonna have to process that later. But they had one of the excerpts I saw of her. I think she was on Joe Rogan's podcast, or one of the excerpts I saw on TikTok, was her saying that Kim Jong-un's dad, Kim Jong-il, whatever his name was,
Kim Jong-il,
he had disproved math.
One drop.
Oh my God! So tell it for those that don't know, because I can't say.
She said the way that he disproved math was, the teacher would say, what is 1 + 1? And, everyone says, well, that's 2. And the way that he proved that wasn't true was he took a water drop and put another water drop on top of it and just made a bigger water drop.
So 1 + 1 equals a bigger one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
+1 equals
that was wild. That I can't wait for that country to be liberated, so that this way you have a bunch of their young people go in and get integrated. Like, there's probably a couple of geniuses. Like, I would say, a couple that would probably do the world such a good service, like with their ideas and their inventions and whatever. And like, I don't know, like, the world's being like robbed of that because they, not allowed to practice math.
They're so malnourished, and it's absolutely horrible. I mean, I sit there and just listen. And like I said, the strange thing is they don't even know. You know what I mean? They think that's normal. You know what I mean? And maybe we're the same way. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, war. That's just normal, and that's just normal. So that's quite possible, but that's pretty sad. God, how did we get on North Korea?
Yeah.
People are like, this is not Veve.
Someone posted a meme, and it was meant to be stupid, but it's like got me thinking, like, what if they said, like, maybe the stars in the sky aren't stars, maybe they're holes in the blanket so that we could breathe. And I was like obviously they're balls of fire,
right?
But that just gets me to thinking, like, oh, hey, what is the possibility of us having like a a core on our planet that's like a hollow Earth? Or what's the point of that? Maybe there is a 0.00001% chance that there's something beyond Antarctica. Like even the people that are down there, I had a buddy of mine stationed in Antarctica. They only let you go so far along. They have cops at the perimeter, or they have MPs at the perimeter, and you're not. And they say the reason for you not allowed to go past that point is because back in the day people tried to explore, then a whiteout happened, and then they died, and you can't find them. Or maybe it's because they don't want us finding them. Now, most likely it's the former, but I don't know. Bill Gardner says all cultures, even on remote islands, have stories about the sky people coming down, taking human women and creating offspring with them, using extraordinary technology and creating megalithic cities. What is your opinion on that?
I think we have a ton of things that all cultures have, but just in a different way, like the flood. You know what I mean? The flood appears, you know what I mean? The flood appears in pretty much every culture, but it's attributed to absolutely something different. So, you know, once again, that would not surprise me. I mean, I know that's a terrible answer, but I could be like, yeah, I can totally see that happening. You know, no doubt.
I picture that as well. Bill Garner also says, feeling more secure of all my securities stored in my security cold storage device. Do you have a cold storage device, or is it Trust Wallet that you have?
Yeah, Trust Wallet.
Okay, yeah, same here.
Should get a ledger. I mean, a lot of people say it should be on a ledger. It should be on a ledger. It should be on a ledger. But
well, hello, orange bag lady. Mark Hunt says, what are your thoughts? Yeah, I know, we love her. We love her so much. She's it's about to be a mom. She's super excited. Did she give birth yet? I don't know. Orange bag lady, how far along are you?
I don't think she has yet.
Okay. Mark Hunt says, what are your thoughts on Paul Barron posting that Cryptoys has 1 million active users, but the Star Wars box also is still in stock? Do you think it's possible that they might have had 1 million active users, or maybe like 1 million hits to the website? Or what do you think is going on there?
Did Veve have 2 million users?
I believe they at one point possibly had 2 million. They might have had 50,000 people, 100,000 people make 20 different accounts each because the bots. So maybe. I think that's possible.
But why would they need to do that though for Cryptoys? I guess that doesn't make sense. I can see why you would do it on Veve because you got the chance to get drops. But Cryptoys, a lot of their stuff isn't. I don't even think their stuff's sold out. I don't think any of their series are sold out. So I don't know why you would do that. But
yeah, I mean, yeah. I would say maybe they had something on they were talking about like website views, and he had just misinterpreted the data, and he put one thing from here over there. I don't know. Paul Barron has had a very interesting past couple of months. Foster put out a thing saying, oh, hey, before this year, I think you mentioned Animoca or Cryptoys like once or twice, and now you've mentioned them like dozens of times. I think you can be, I'm not saying that he is or isn't, but I think that you can work for and with some companies and still be unbiased. I don't know how well he's doing at it. Because I mean, what he had said that he had never taken a cent from Animoca, but I think Dr. Stuff asked him, oh, hey, have you ever taken any form of payment or compensation whatsoever from X amount of companies or their affiliates? And then he just didn't answer that question. So he was probably telling the truth, saying, oh, I never took anything from Animoca, but I took something from this company, which is a shell company for Animoca, which is my guess. But
well, here's the other thing. Paul is a lot of things, but I don't believe Paul is particularly a stupid man. And if he's a good businessman, he's looking ahead in the spaces and he's looking at the money. And it would be probably smart to endear yourself to a brand and a company like Animoca. And what better way to do that than to go on your channel and proclaim them the victors? And then later, of course, you're a natural choice, right? Come on in, come and help us out. So that doesn't, mean that he's not looking for a future relationship with them, just seeing, what's coming down the pike. Yeah,
That makes sense.
he's had a, you know what I mean? I mean, why? But Foster's been really on point lately. I mean, you know, I try to subscribe to, you know, when they go low, we go high. But sometimes you just need to pick up your fucking sword and go to war. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need warriors in the community. Because one thing about this community sometimes is we want to be nice to everybody and we want to all get along and we want everything to be happy and shiny and fine. But, you know, there are times when some people, you know, push the line and go too far, and you need people to step up and put it on their backs and say, this is not right. You know what I mean? And I, you know, I commend Foster for what he's been doing lately, you know, not to get personal, not to get hateful necessarily with people, but sometimes you got to call out bullshit. And I don't think we let the fudders do it a lot and we let the negative people do it a lot. But a lot of the good at heart VV people sit back and go, no, you know, we're not like that. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to fight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, you know, I commend Foster for going out there and standing up and putting it out there. You
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
roll over
also
every time.
Twitter's a war zone. Like, like Twitter, like people get called out about a bunch of stuff on Twitter. So it's like, you know, if you want to hang, sometimes you gotta go and rock stuff. So yeah, Foster's great.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely. And, you know, some of these people that proclaim or were once great VV supporters that are just saying, oh, they're giving positive feedback and da. No, they're not. And I like the fact that people are finally starting to call it out. Content creators are starting to call it out and call some of these people on their horse shit.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, you also have the people of
peace and
Twitter that
joy.
I love how you're just sipping your tea. It's like, but I mean, the people of Twitter are not stupid. Like they can go and say like, oh, this person said something that may or may not be true, but this person that has receipts of this person, oh, hey, this is what their balance was. This is what they sold at. It's like, oh, you know,
Oh, yeah. I
clearly
know
this
a
person.
lot of people that claim to have made millions because they were so smart and they sold so many things and they cashed out and they're, you know, they're flying around the world now with all their VV money. Poor shit. Poor shit. On every sale, they were cashing out on the back end, probably losing at least 50%. So, you know what? I don't believe the majority of the people that say that they've made a ton of money, you know. I
So
don't know
yeah.
who you're talking about. But I know a few, and
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's
and I don't believe it.
you probably guess.
I heard you last
Check the group
night.
chat and you'll
I
see
heard you
receipts.
last night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so speaking of things that people are getting pumped for, Bill Garner says, "Who's pumped for that Thanos drop incoming? When do you guys get that?"
Tomorrow,
Oh, nice.
tomorrow. We got the stamp today,
Hmm.
so it was pretty cool. It wasn't as high as I thought it would be. I think it was just going around 24, but I don't care. I liked it. I
Yeah.
like that first set. I mean, it's the only building in that presidential series. And I liked it. You know, it's the only thing. So
Yeah.
I wanted it regardless of the price. I wasn't going to sell it. It's a nice set too, you know.
And
So
a secret rare for $24 is pretty nice. Also, I feel like you don't get too many secret rares for that price.
no, you don't. But I think stamp collectors are loud.
Yeah.
Come in this app. I think we got a little bit of time on the stamp collectors. You know, they like really get into the glue and the you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna be a little while down the road.
Oh, I
What do
like
you think
Uncle
of the drops?
Misha's the what? The drops?
I just said, what do you think of the drop coming up? The oh, what's it called? The posters. I was looking at the names for it. I was
Um,
unfamiliar with the movie.
yeah, I thought that was interesting because I went and took a look at it's got scarce secret rare. I think there's like 500 something of those.
Okay.
You know, $30 a piece. If it sells out, it's over $100,000 to
Right.
VV, which is a lot. But you have their last posters from that Pixar made was the Cars posters.
Yeah.
And the secret rare on that is like over $400 now. Now, granted, there was only 350 of those, so it really means 260 as opposed to the 560 that we have here, which means 470 for us. So there's less of them, but
Right.
it's still
Which
like,
shocks me, those Disney posters that have somewhere anywhere between 200 and 250.
Oh, the Little Mermaid. Do you have those?
No. The 100 posters. I think I still.
The 100.
Mhm. Those are even less than that. Than the Cars posters.
Yeah. Those when they had that Apple keynote and they mentioned 100-year Disney anniversary, like it's like they're getting right up to the line of mentioning Veve and like and then they don't. That would be wild if they did. But I think that was a tease that they'll probably do and say that eventually.
Yeah.
So you have on this comment
Elements.
you see.
That's what I was thinking of. Elements, $30.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Are you going to go for it?
No, I have this big purchase I need to make by next Friday. So I need to make a week from tomorrow. I have 2,500 saved up. I need to pump those numbers up, the rookie numbers, and I'll let people know what it is after I buy it.
Okay.
It's
Veve purchase.
Yeah. It's a Veve purchase. So I have 2,500 gems saved up, and I need to. I mean, I'll probably wind up putting. I'm trying to sell that. I was trying to sell that rare Luke Skywalker, the number 48, because I have the 43, but that's part of the 43 set, and I didn't want to definitely not going to break that up.
Right.
But but there's somebody with the number 46 that has theirs for 1,800, and so I don't want to sell mine for 1,600. So I might just put in 1,000 and then maybe sell it for 1,650, 1,700. I'll keep you posted. It's gonna be pretty fun though. I might have told. Did I tell you yet what it was? I might.
No.
Okay, I'll tell you when it's over. I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
But speaking of Veve stuff, Uncle Mish there has a Spidey 2099 cosplay that he's rocking. Are you gonna cosplay this year for New York Comic Con? And did you get your tickets yet?
If I go, I will.
Oh, so you're not 100% sold on going yet?
I'm not 100% sure on going. I don't know yet.
What is stop? Or I guess Veve have officially confirming would make you.
That would probably make me go. Probably. Cool. We got a lot of things to do this year, though. But I think I might have a place to stay in New York. But...
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You do that just so you guys can go, just to show your family, just to show show them the epicness of that place.
Yeah. Well, I would take my son with me, but we are going to go to the Macy's Day Parade and the charity event for first responders on Thanksgiving. So
okay, nice.
I think that's going to be a nice time as well. So
yeah, that'd be fun. Good for you guys. I'll
are you really gonna be moving? I heard you say you were thinking about North Carolina.
Yeah, that whenever my friends decide to get pregnant, I'll go and move. But they're going on they split up their honeymoon into 2 different places.
Okay.
One was in February, and the other is next week. So I think hopefully after that, then they'll really start trying, I guess. Because they'll need the room for the baby. So I'll go with probably my friend Lida. I served with him for years, and he's in North Carolina now in Raleigh. So I'd go down there. Everyone keeps wanting me to move to Florida.
Yeah, I lived in Raleigh for a while. It wasn't too bad. I lived in Cary. I don't know if they called it the containment area for relocated Yankees. I don't know if you were familiar with that place.
They have those. Apparently, they have those there in the Carolinas and in Florida as well.
Yeah, it is interesting. I remember when I first started working this was Progress Energy, and I was going through orientation, and this big Southern man, he was like the VP. he stands up and he's like, we're a diverse company here. We got women, we got men, we got, and he's going through the different races, we got Asian. He goes, hell, we even got Yankees. And I'm like, oh, this is your diversity talk. So I was there like 15 years ago, but it was an interesting place down there.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I mean, staying in New York would be, I really don't want to stay another winter. I really don't. But I mean, it's the place where things like a lot of my whales come in through New York, and I mean, they're here, I don't know, 6, 8 times a year. But it's nice and easy. Oh, hey, cool. Give me a few hours. I'll meet you in New York City. It's nice to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I guess you could do that with it just take longer, take a plane and do whatever, rent the hotels. Like, I don't know. I mean, you guys are pretty comfortable there. Where would you move? Would you ever move to New York?
No. South.
No,
I would move south. New York's just, New York's pretty expensive. The weather's no better. The weather's actually worse in New York. We like a little bit of land, but not in the mountains. You know what I mean? So I like Florida, but I'm very reluctant. Like we were actually talking about that, like having a summer house or a winter house here because of the family, and then, buying a house somewhere else. But, I don't know where to go because I think Florida is going to probably be underwater at some point, and by retirement or damn close, or the insurance and just everything's just so high there with constant hurricanes. Then we think about the Southwest and the water situation there is like, okay, do you really want to buy there? And then I'm not real keen on going anywhere like in the Caribbean, even though I'd love to go there, but the medical care can be a little sketch. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then you got like Texas and Alabama, that, so we've been thinking a lot about where would that winter place be? I don't know. Maybe Portugal. I hear they're easy on crypto over there.
Well, so there's other places like there's a lot of the fam in, I think, Arizona. You have, Rudy and Tina that are down there. Yeah. You have Fam Bam that's down there. You have Heather from Caroga, which is New York, but she's down there. There's I think Tammy said she wanted to go down there. Tamara Hannah. So there's, because she's friends with Fam Bam. So there's a lot of I don't know, down there seems fun. It's like every weekend they're all doing something. It's like, I want to play. I want to go hang with you guys.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, it's 120, but it's a very dry heat. Like, it's 120. I don't care.
It is weird. It is different. 100 degrees here in New York, where it's like humid, like it sucks. But 130 in Kuwait, it still sucks. But I don't know. It's different. I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
Like, it still sucks. Don't get me wrong. It's still like you're not having a good time, but it's not as bad as you think it would be.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I definitely want a place though, somewhere warmer, because Pittsburgh, just like New York, it's cold in the winter. It's nasty and snowy and dark. So we definitely want, a place in the South. We just don't know where. You know what I mean? We're just kind of bouncing around with that.
I would say, I don't know. Florida I really like Florida because you just have Orlando. You have Harry Potter World. I'd be at Disney all the time. I'd be me and Vive Magic would be like Skyping across the country. Be like, what ride are you on? I'm on this ride.
I like Miami is my favorite area down in Florida, though. I really like the Miami-Dade area.
Yeah, that's
the
fun.
water. You know what I mean? The water, that crystal clear blue water. Very Caribbean feel. Lots to do.
When OMI runs, just get like a rental in Key West, and then just go there a couple times a year, and then rent it out the rest of the time. You'll make money back.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I just there's such horror stories about people with renters. They make it seem so easy. Like, you know what I mean? Whenever you see how-tos, like just invest this and you could rent it out all year. But then you hear, the toilet clogs and, somebody thought the bathroom, they were drunk and they pissed in the corner of your bedroom. Like, you get all kinds of crazy shit that happens when you rent. So, but that is a good idea. I mean, a lot of people do make money that way and do get, property. That's how you build up property.
Yeah,
But you work for it. I mean, it's not though, just like people have to, it's more than just a turnkey kind of thing though.
Yeah, you'll make less money, but my friend Lou has a company that does everything for him. I think they take like 20%, but they don't. They clean for him. They book the appointments. They do everything. Like, he doesn't touch the clients at all.
Wow, nice.
So but they take 20%. I mean, he's still in the black. He's still making more money than it's costing him each month, and it's not like a small amount. It's like, hey, here's the mortgage that's completely paid for based off of just 2 weeks, and here's the rest of the profit. So it does work out. But like, the reason why it was so popular is because he bought it right before the pandemic, and then in the pandemic, when every place was closed except for Florida, everyone was vacationing down in Florida, and he's making money hand over fist. And then the market went up. So I don't know if that's repeatable. I don't know if that's something hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have any other pandemic.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never even thought about what that did to rental properties. That never even crossed. Wow. Yep. Yeah.
That was wild. People have toyed with the idea of making people told about the idea of getting like a VV island, but should VV peeps go into like one town, maybe like a gated community, and just buy like a block, and we just all the time just no, your face is kind of.
How would you decide who gets in and who doesn't? Because there's some people you're like, no, you're not coming. I don't want you to live here.
I don't know.
Maybe the town. Maybe we could all go to a town. I don't know.
So what you could do is, if you go in a gated community, get like a block, you could be like, find out who's on like the housing committee or whatever gets approved.
Yeah.
And just put like, hey, here's like $5,000 for each of you. For this person that applies, just give them the Bugs Bunny. No. And then you're not the bad person, it's the housing committee.
Sorry. You went bankrupt 25 years ago. Sorry. You shoplifted in 1975. Sorry.
This is gonna be a retirement community. It's gonna be if you shoplift in 75, you're probably.
I just want a golf cart. I just want a place where I can have a golf cart. Like, I just want a golf cart. I don't know why. I've always wanted one of those. Those would be so fun.
Can we modify the golf cart? Can we make it go super fast?
God, you're just like my husband. Yes, we can modify the golf cart. That's exactly what he said.
Dude, your husband's so chill. I fucking love him.
He's chill 97% of the time. The other 3% of the time is the.
He's a big man too. He causing damage. He's
and
is it just like it's just like lift a car? Is it like deadlift a car? Like
No, but he's a martial arts guy, and you know what I mean. He did all that shit, and he showed me one day. He took this stick, this really really hard stick, and he beat himself on the shin, and I'm like, ah! And he's like, I don't feel that. He like deadened all his nerves. I'm like, what is the matter? He goes, I didn't even feel that.
You got to get the micro fractures on it, so you get the calcium deposit, and then your shin becomes a bat. That's
exactly.
I'm too much of a bitch to do that, though. Ain't gonna catch me doing that.
That's what I'm saying, Randy. I think you got a little bit of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fighting is a backward sport.
but yeah, no, he's a big teddy bear 98% of the time. But that 2% of the time, yeah, just not good. Not good. And he's back in the gym now. So he was sick for a few months and doing shit. So now he's back in the gym. So he said he's gonna be Bane at Comic-Con. So
awesome. Oh yeah, he'd look good at that. Yeah, he's big. He can do it. He can do it. I hurt my shoulder a few days ago. It was doing chest. It was like the first thing that I did. I was like, I'll work through it, and then now it's just been heck. I have a hole in my heel. I was at a party on Saturday, and I got out of the hot tub, and I like went to step, and I hit the edge of a rock, and there's just a hole in the back of my heel. I was like, oh god, oh god. And we were all like drunk, so I didn't feel it too much, and poured alcohol on it, and I was like, whew. It was a crazy time.
He's Randy.
These are what Veve parties are going to be like. Going to be hot tubs everywhere. It was going to be. We should all get dogs too. We should all get like. Dogs. Well, they can all play with each other.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just want a dog. I want to be able to go and bring your dog to an event. It'd be social. It'd be fun. Dogs would have a good time.
Okay. If I have like enough OMI money, as long as I can have like a dog sitter or like a dog nanny, I'm good with that. Because dogs are, I'm a cat person. They're just so easy to take care of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw your black cat on there.
There's 4 of them. The other 3 are camera shot.
Oh wow, you got 4?
She'll cross the screen once in a while. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had 4 of them.
Well, I had 1. He had 3. So,
yeah. Do they fight over like the litter boxes?
My black cat is, she's so evil. She's so mean because she was in the house first, I think, and then he moved in. He sold his house and moved into mine, and I think she just, you know what I mean. She was raised as a single cat. I mean, it would be like a human being raised and then getting like 3 step siblings, and she's just like, she does not like it. No. So, yeah, she will pick on one in specific, which
no.
We'll just see fur and like a ball of cat.
Oh no! Evidence of the fights, dude. Oh, cats are so savage. Have you ever seen them catch a mouse?
Oh my god! Yes. We actually have. That's the only time they get along is when they all like hunt together, and they corner they've cornered. We've had a few mice now. Thank God, my husband is an awesome. He can catch mice better than our freaking cats. I swear to God. So he has to catch them, and he's probably caught like 5 mice, and then he takes them outside, only probably to get eaten. But I don't want to see that. I mean, they play with them. You know what I mean?
Poor mice.
Those poor mice. I know. Kind of like the seals.
Oh yeah. Oh they. Oh, if the whales fudge up the seals and they knock them like, oh yeah, dude, I'm so curious on what that feels like to just be knocked up 30 feet in the air, and then just yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they play with their food. I don't like that. Like, kill it. You know what I mean? Just kill it and do what you got to do. But no, they like to play with it.
Which is weird because I feel like lions are pretty courteous. They go and they kill their stuff before they eat it, whereas like bears will just put a paw on you and start ripping you.
Oh, they'll just gnaw on your leg while you're you're right.
Yeah, dude, nature's savage. Like, oh God, the bears, they'll rip a piece of skin off, they'll nom on that, and they'll just wow.
Yeah, you're right. So if we have to get killed by a wild animal, lion, I think is a good choice.
So these don't. I had a run-in with some bobcats in New Jersey, where they weren't like mountain lions, which are like 70 pounds. These things are but they were like 40 pounds, and
I know what a
they're.
musk is. Yeah.
Oh, have you seen them in like
Mhm.
in the wild? Have you seen them in like
I
on
haven't
a
seen
hike?
them. I don't think I've seen them in the wild, but I've seen them. They're not. Yeah, they're smaller cats, but I've heard they're mean. They're still really mean.
Yeah, they growled at me. So me and two friends were. I don't know where we were. Maybe we were like close to their den or something.
Mm,
But we were just going on like a hike. We are in New Jersey, and I'm thinking like I'm trying to be like that cool person from like Jurassic Park. Like, okay, guys, don't move. and and they take off in different directions. I was like, oh my god, what do I do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So I was like, and they're like slowly coming towards me with their, and I was like, oh. So I was like, okay, and there's like a wall to the back of me, and like there's two of them. They didn't chase my friends. Like, do I run? Do I run? So I decided to try to climb up the wall, because like if I can get up there, I could like hang on. I could pull myself up. It wasn't that high. If I had a running start, I
yeah.
could have done it. Like I'm almost positive I could have done it, and I didn't make it, and so
I just see you sliding down the wall.
dude, I was like Mufasa trying to like, and so then like I fall, and like I'm on my back, is like, oh god, oh god, like, and I'm like slowly like raising my hands, like as soon as they come at me, I'm gonna like, and then my friend Tara that's with me, she made her way. Like all you had to do, I looked at it after, all you had to do was run like 10 feet that way, go up this little hill, and then you're up there.
Yeah.
So she jumps off the cliff like Rafiki with like a giant stick, and she like screams and she like scares him away. I was like, oh my god, like thank God, because I was not feeling okay. I just falling like on my back. I was like, oh,
Oh
but that
shit.
was yeah. So that was 2018 New Jersey. That was
It's good to know. I know there's some animals that you're supposed to try to get big and like show and get aggressive and hopefully they
black
go
bears.
away, but then there's others you're supposed to like be very still and like not move and don't make eye contact. So I think with the cats, I think you're supposed to try to make yourself look big and intimidating with them to back them down. But like you said, if they're protecting their babies or something, you're just screwed. You just better run. You know what I mean?
It's the black bears. You like make yourself bigger and like fight and scare them away. The brown bear is supposed to play dead,
That's
and
it.
like
Yep.
yeah, and the polar bear, it's like
And the polar bears,
you're done.
you're done. You're done. Don't even bother.
There's me and my friend. It was like 2014. It was a long time ago. Me and my friend Phillips, we were just looking up like awesome animal stuff. It was one night at work in the Air Force, and we had it was like a horror movie where this bear. There's a seal on this like thing of ice, and it's just chilling. I don't know if it knew that it was being stalked, but like seven, ice things away is the bear, and it swims down below. It comes to the next one, swims down below, comes to the next one, and then suddenly it goes like, and it was like, and then
Oh,
it gets it. It was it's a horror movie. It's so cool.
I can't remember who we were. I don't know if it was on one of our streams, but somebody had said that their daughter, their like 8-year-old daughter, loves polar bears and like she wants everything polar bear. And he said, I just want to show her what a polar bear will do. See how much she loves them after she sees them in action. I'm like, that is sick, but it was really funny.
Did he? Did he show?
No. It was a joke, but you know what I mean. Like everything she had was polar bears. He was saying like his little girl just really loved polar bears, and he's like, I just want to show her a video and let's see how much she loves them after she sees a polar bear in action. I'm like, only a father would think that. You know what I mean? No
I
mother would
mean,
ever say that.
she probably likes them because, like, oh, there's Beanie Babies and there's cartoons, Coca-Cola, but
Coca-Cola, right? Yeah.
there's my friend Ernie has 256 of those secret rare polar bear um Coca-Cola things on Veve. It's wild. But he but there's some kids, I think there's some people that really are more curious. Like I feel like at 8, depending on the kid, you know, like something's on Animal Planet, you see bodies, you see violence. And I remember watching that at my aunt's house one day, and she's like, "Oh, like turn this off." And it wasn't as in like you're too young. It was like, "I don't like to see this."
Yeah, I
And I was
won't.
like, "But it's cool." Maybe that shows a little more into my psyche.
It does. Oh, and I think that's kind of like the male thing. Like I'm the same way. I won't look at it. I won't see it. You know, they start playing those like anything, whatever it is, like Arms of the Angels, the cat commercials, the doll, anything. I'm
Oh
like
yeah, no,
on the
those are
remote.
bad.
I mean, I put my hands over my head and hum like I'm 5 years old. I'm like, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. I hate it. And there was Max was watching something like that, and I don't know, he was 10, and I'm like, oh my God, it was, an antelope getting it or something, and I'm like sad, I'm like, oh my God, that poor little antelope or whatever. And he looked at me like dead serious. He's like, that's just nature, Mom, and I'm like, just, I'm like, oh,
Ice
okay.
cold.
Ice cold. And meantime, I'm thinking like it's gonna scar him and he's gonna be all sad and that poor antelope. And he's like, circle of life, Ma. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
So we
anyways.
have Tina and Rudy saying they have a new channel called Veve Arizona, saying come to Arizona. I say that's a sign, Laura. I say we all go to Arizona.
All right. I think Tina and Rudy can they can help us find a place to go stay. I think they have some rentals down there, so
Yeah, let's do it.
they'll be able
Let's.
to probably help us out.
I'm in. Are you here? Hopefully they're still listening. I was like, we'll
I
get some
wanted
new
to
comments.
I wanted to go to the Super Bowl party, but Tina kind of got quiet after that. So
What Super Bowl party?
I guess her and Rudy were hosted a really big Super Bowl party this past year, and
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So
Sick invite, yeah, hex. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't even know if I was like, oh no, I know. Yeah, no, I met him last year in Decon. Um, yeah, but I got like we got a little. Me and Rudy got a little. I mean, we all got a little closer in the as time goes on. But he helped get me my 43 rare Luke. I'm helping him get something else and another stuff.
yeah, they are a great. I really like them. I like them both. Rudy, I have something Rudy really wants, but I have not given it to him. But he did tell me, he's like, I really want that. If you ever decide to sell that, you please put me on the list. So I am.
Is it a number 46?
It is not. It is a 616.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. I mean, Miles. We don't have. Yeah, I won't play the guessy game. Um, the I thought where is it 6, 7? Clever Jerk had gone and let me know of his new acquisition. He had the 1, 2, 3.
66, right?
Oh yeah. He got the 66 Lukes. He got the 501 Vaders and the 501 Lukes. Oh god, that dude. But the
His
most recent one
collection
was
is
this
insane.
morning where he had gotten he had the No Time to Die Triumph motorcycle 1, 2, 3, 4, and he
Mhm.
has the 5, 6, 7, 8 now as well. So he's got
Ah,
one.
I know. I every day I get something from Clever. And some days I'm like, that is really cool. And other days I'm just so jealous. I'm like, screw you, Clever. You know what I mean? In a nice way. You know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way. But I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna look at it because it's gonna be something awesome. And then I'm gonna be jealous. So I'm not gonna look at it today. But most of the days I look at it and it's really cool. I know Tina wanted she was on the Women of Veve um uh Twitter. There was a space a couple weeks ago, and she was saying she was selling some stuff. I don't know if you noticed. She had some things that she was liquidating. I think she was getting rid of a Miles and a partners. And she said she was making a big move, but she would not tell us.
Yeah, I don't think they've made it yet. I think
Oh,
they're.
you know about? Okay, yeah.
He wouldn't. Oh yeah, Rudy wouldn't tell me either. He's like, I can't say anything, but yeah, they're flooring like everything. I was like,
Oh, okay. Oh,
I don't
Rudy's
know
in
what it
on it
could be.
now
It's got to be
too.
something huge.
Yeah, I didn't know Rudy was in on it too. I thought this was just Tina because those
Unless they're
two
doing
compete.
something separately. But they flew their AF-15, their mod. Yeah, it was. It's got to be something huge. I don't know what.
I don't know what it could be. I mean, I don't know what it could be.
I mean, I was gonna say
Okay.
Adani, but one of them just.
Okay. My husband's calling it Platinum Moment poster number 100s.
No, all the collectibles. 100.
Oh, all the collectibles in the post because Tina went out and got the 100 potion. That's his prediction.
That's my call.
That's his call.
All right, let's see what these are on here. Platinum.
It was 5K a while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So the Dumbo poster is not even on there.
They even have 100s for all the posters. You'd have to go back to that spreadsheet. But the collectibles, I think she's going after the collectibles for sure.
Yeah. There's no Minnie Mouse poster. Is also there are so few of these posters.
We know.
We know.
I
want more.
They need to update them. So once they do,
yeah, they need to update the numbers in
there.
there.
There's no way the Cars Secret Rare is worth more than 100th anniversary Mickey. I'm sorry. It's not.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Why the fudge is...
And they still have 1923 on there. They don't have, that's one, damn it. That's one thing. I wish there would have been some more places to put feedback. Like, I wish they were better at getting the app updated with the correct numbers on some of the things. Like, I don't know, did they go back and fix the Captain America's burned and, making sure that those numbers are correct? Because like
no,
right now,
the Captain America's... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like right now in the posters, it still shows 1923. And if I was new coming in and I saw 1923, but if I saw 215, or however many were minted, I think OMI Daily Burn put those numbers out. And it was like somewhere between 205 and 240, plus the ones Veve. I don't know if Veve kept back more than the 40s on those. I don't know what they did, to be honest with you. Maybe you do. On those posters. So in the posters, remember you had to craft the potion and a collectible, and they minted 1923 of each one.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, did they keep 40 and then keep their extra 50 on top of that? Do you know what I mean?
I think they did. And then, yeah, I think they did. And then after that, however many were minted.
Yeah. Said I think Dumbo was like 250, or not Dumbo. Donald was like 215 or something like that. So 215 plus 90, that'd be 305. I don't know. I'd be interested to see if they did keep, if they kept those 50.
Curious with that too. I don't know. I know the Captain Americas, they still have it at like 20 burned as like, okay, well, I don't know why that was made.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And I guess they burn more comics too. I heard that the other day. I don't know which ones they burned, but somebody had said that more comics got burned. But yeah, I would like to see that updated.
Yeah. I mean yes, I'm super glad that they've been updating a lot of stuff on the app. By the way, what's your favorite update so far? Is it the wait list? Is it the push notifications? Or is it something that they just announced like, oh, hey, even though we're moving back OMI to NFT, you're going to have OMI to bronze tickets. You're going to have OMI to stake for your MCP points for Operation Zero. What's your favorite update?
Well, I am glad that they are going back and they're reprioritizing OMI. And my husband pointed out that in the tweet, they said, due to the feedback of some of our early investors or something, which I thought was interesting, that they went back and mentioned, those early OMI investors. I start thinking of like Brock and Patel, you know what I mean? Like at least that's what ran through my mind. I don't know what ran through your mind whenever you heard that. So I like the fact, even though a lot of people said, well, they're just restating what they've told us before. I really like the fact that they're putting that, trying to make a conscious effort. But I'm going to say the wait list is probably the best for the health of the app, because now it is a little bit more fair for especially like the Europeans and such. I don't like it because, we always had pretty good speed and we always got one. And I did not get a logo either time. I had to go out and buy, buy mine. But, I think overall for the health of the app and to keep people in, I like the wait list. Plus, I believe Reese said that was the gateway to everything else they need to do. So to me, that's critical. I just remember him saying, in order to do this, I'm an NFT, in order to do that, we have to first get the wait list. So now that's done. So moving on,
I think the biggest thing I'm excited for is probably the OMI stuff, just because, finally, and the first part, like the Project Zero or the Zero, the part that's rolling out first, they're calling like Part Zero.
Yeah.
Just shows that that's going to be ever changing and ever evolving, and there's going to be no limit to the utility. I mean, it's just going to start with MCP points.
Mm-hmm.
So what I really like is when somebody just comes in and, like, let's say like New I've been advising, he's like Diamond 2. He doesn't have a ton of stuff. But he's slowly but surely getting a decent amount of OMI. And as that goes up, if he wants to really go into be a master, he could essentially buy your way in. How do you feel about that also? If like people are really trying and they get a bunch of sets, and maybe some sets they don't want, but they're sets that they're super cheap, they give you a lot of points. You get them for the MCP points, and then somebody just comes in and they throw in however many, 30 million OMI into their staking account, and they get X amount of points.
Yeah, lock it up and burn it. That's fine with me. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. But it does kind of, and I don't even know how you would do this. We can't ask for everything. So this is kind of like pie in the sky. And somebody had mentioned this a while back, and I kind of chuckled at them a little bit. But now that I go back and kind of think about it, if you have somebody that comes into the app and they buy a secret rare Miles Morales for $13,500, and you have somebody who buys, let's just say, $2 comics divided by, or they come in and, they buy, $1,002 comics. Is it, to me, in a way, is that fair that, the person that comes in, that's the one thing that I don't know how you would even fix. It's like almost kind of like how they came up with the weighted in college or in high school, where the person that's taken the basic math versus advanced calculus, that one's weighted a little bit more because they're not equal. No offense, Randy, but I think.
Why did you do up the dumb math? I was, but
because I know, because you cheapened yourself with your $2 climb, but that's okay. But to me, it's like, yeah, I wish there was maybe just a little bit, maybe even an extra thing, like however X amount you put in, you get points too. Like if I put in 10 grand and you put in 10 grand and I get one collectible and you get 500 collectibles. Yeah, you know what I mean? But nah, I don't mind that. You know what I mean? I'm glad. I want to see staking in place. And I want to see those tickets, and that's all going to burn, right?
Yeah, like, they will all burn. And even if you don't get the collectible, so like you could put in, I know there's going to be some fun about this in the future. You're going to be able to put in however much OMI you want for these tickets, and it's possible that you don't get picked, as it is random. And if you don't, people are like, oh, I put in this much money and now I didn't get it back. Like, they're going to try to call it like a gambling thing, and they're going to, I mean, it's fine. It's well, I mean, it kind of is, but I feel like it's not, because, technicalities and weird law. But yeah, it's nice to know that will not be coming back. And when you have, so I mean, we have like 13,000 active users each week.
Yeah.
But 10,000 of them, if you get a really cool drop, one a week, and you just have a couple of dollars of OMI go in from each of them, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a week being burned.
Just a little boost. Just a little extra chance to get that sacred or that whatever. And that's worth it. You know what I mean? I do like the fact, and I'm surprised we didn't get a lot of FUD over this. Do you remember when they originally said that you were going to get 90% back? You know what I mean?
Yes.
They'd only keep 10%. And I was just like, that's messed up because, you know, it's still going to be heavily weighted to the people that have a ton. They're just going to keep getting it back. And it's, you know what I mean? And I like the fact that now it's gone. You know what I mean? You put your bid down or you put your, you know, your points in, and they're gone. And I'm surprised more people didn't have a fit over. They said it was going to be 10%, you know, like that's in stone, you know what I mean? But in version 2, they totally changed it and screwed us. I like it though. I like the change, and I'm glad we didn't hear a lot of, you know, they went back on their word type of things. But you know, I think we got to stop looking at some of those things before they roll out as, you know, their word. That's the plan. You know what I mean? That's not, it's not final till it's final. You know, so.
I can't wait. I don't know when they implement any of these things. I mean, waitlist, I feel like they didn't mention for a while. Then suddenly, hey guys, waitlist here on Sunday. Like, what? And it's not anything that leaked either. Like, I don't know if you heard anything. I didn't hear anything about waitlist is coming soon. They kept that pretty good secret.
Yeah, I don't think I think that Mitch is somehow, you know, getting a hold of it and saying, you know what, just don't say anything. Just produce. You know what I mean? Because people don't want to hear soon anymore. Just push it out. You know what I mean? And good, you know, but see that there's where you go back to that. Well, they're not communicating enough. You know what I mean? Well, we didn't even know about, not you, but you know what I mean? Like we haven't heard anything about this, right? But then whenever they say this is coming and it doesn't coming in a timely manner, then they get crap that way too. So to me, you know, just give me the basic rough plan and then roll it as you need to. Roll it out as you need to. Just better. It gives people less to gnaw on, you know what I mean, and to pick at constantly at them. So
I would have we were talking before, I don't think you were on yet, talking before about being shoulder to shoulder with a company like with Disney. Like what part of the reason why everyone wants to be on Veve so bad is because of the money and the network, but also because it's, you know, you're part of Disney. Mm-hmm. If they were to drop a Queen Veve drop, what would you want them to do? Like you, if they were to make a drop of you, like the influencers of Twitter and YouTube, how'd you wanna present your NFT? Would you want it as, I guess you couldn't do it as the evil queen because that would be
I was gonna say, I don't understand what you're talking about. They already dropped my NFT. I'm confused right now. Yeah, I can't answer that. I've already had my NFT, so I'm good.
Okay. Who would you most like to be like next to if they were searching for Lori Brenner or Lori, like who would you want next to? Would you want like the Lamborghini car next to you, or do you want the like a Marvel artist next to you, like when the search comes up?
I do like the Lambos. I've been collecting. I have all of them except for one now. I really like the gold one and the red one. So that I like that. Yeah, I absolutely like that. Gosh, Randy, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But I plan on when I get my castle, which I'm like 99.9% sure castle is going to be one of your options, because every time David or Dan, when I've seen them at Decon, or, you know, when we've talked or when I've heard them, they always say, you know, like you'll have a space, like a house or a castle. And every time they say castle. So I'm making sure, matter of fact, we were just talking about it today, getting some more Aston Martins. Well, I think I have one, but we want to get some more so that the castle can just have like Lambos, Aston Martin, you know what I mean? Like just be stacked with cars, like a 40 car garage of cars in my castle. So
you're gonna need the space for the Lambos. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like those Lambos. I really do. I think in time, those are a pretty decent investment as well.
If
Given the price and the rarity.
I wonder if they would have. So obviously, you'll have land and you'll be able to go and put stuff on your land. But when they go and they do like a drop, like, could they have something where like, okay, everyone gets a basic house, in the Veveverse, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted, you could upgrade to, let's say, like a Disney thing. Like you'd have Snow White, whatever she had, a thing, a place in the woods, and that could be the common. Or it goes up to like Cinderella's castle or the castle at Arendelle that Anna and Elsa live in. Which one would you want for your?
It's a good thought.
Dude, I would want like Scar's like thing in Pride Rock, like his with all the little like with all the little like Nazi hyenas where they're just saluting him.
Just get a cave, Randy. Just get a cave.
That cave. Chavez.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need a Disney castle per se. I just want a castle. I just think that'd be cool. I don't know. Were you were stationed over in Germany? Did you ever go down to the castle? It's past, what is it, Stuttgart? Like it's the one that the Disney castle was actually made to kind of look at. I can't even begin to pronounce it. It's like Neufach, Neuf. I'm like the worst at pronouncing any German and definitely any Indian. Were you ever at that castle?
I was not at that one. I was at one where we drove to like the base of the mountain where it was on.
Yes, that's this one.
Oh, it is this. Oh, okay. Maybe I was. So I was, this is 2019. I was in not the best shape, but in shape enough where I was like, all right, I could run. So I ran it, and I thought I was just really out of shape, which I kind of was, but I didn't recognize that we were very far above sea level, and the air was just getting thinner, and I was just like, oh, I'm just really fat. I better go harder. And I remember collapsing like next to a tree. And I couldn't call anyone because I'm in Germany. So I was just like, okay, let me go on Snapchat here. And I just saw the Avengers Endgame trailer where like Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, he's in space and he's like, part of the journey is the end. And that's all I could think about while I was like doing the Snapchat. I was like, guys, part of the journey is the end. I don't like hyperventilating.
Did they offer a horse and carriage ride up it? No,
they definitely did not.
Okay, because I took the horse and carriage ride up to the top. So there were people, it was the same setup. It's like up on this huge, like top of a mountain in Germany. You know what I mean? And people walk up it, and then at the bottom they have like a horse and carriage there. And I'm like, how much is that? I don't know. It was ridiculous. It was like $25. I'm like, yep, I'll take that. You know what I mean? And we're passing all these people as we go up, and you could just see people were like, shit, I should have paid the $20 for the horse. No, but that's a cool place. No, I really don't care. Yeah, Disney, and I really like Disney, and I really like the IP. And yes, it would be cool to have, a specific castle, but I just want something to decorate that's really, put all my gold stuff up and all my cool pieces up, show off all my cars, and I think a castle would be very apropos. So I'm good with a basic castle.
Are you gonna get the basic castle?
Your basic 7,000, 10,000 square foot castle.
So how creative do your husband or your son get? Like, does your son ever go on like Minecraft, veg out for like 8 hours and build like this giant village masterpiece?
Yes.
Because I feel like if I were to go, there's obviously going to be places in the Veveverse that like, okay, here's Veve City, like whatever it's called, that's going to be really coveted, and because you want to be around the action. Yeah. But then I also feel like there's going to be like the wetland, like the you don't ever go there, and I feel like I want a place in the middle of nowhere that nobody wants to go, and that's where I'll make the Loki alligator verse or something. I don't know. Swampland. I just want to make something cool where nobody would expect it to be cool. Do you want to join me on this venture?
You know what? I'll take a guest house, and maybe that's where I could have my animal reserve, but mine's more geared towards cats and dogs, and I'm not sure if that would go really well with the. Oh wait, we're in the metaverse. I don't have to worry about the gators. Perfect. Sure.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'll do my animal. I'll do
Yeah,
my.
I was not talking about
farm.
like Arizona. I wasn't talking about like where there's wild things where Smarty Pants literally drove by a bobcat chasing a roadrunner, and then two coyotes a block past that. He's like, "Are we in Looney Tunes?"
I was gonna say, are you sure he's not just repeating a commercial or a cartoon?
Yeah, where does Smarty Pants live in Arizona? I forget. I had him on the podcast. I definitely asked him.
Didn't he just get like his 600th Goofy?
His 600th Pluto, and yes,
or Pluto. Jeez.
Yeah, he went extremely hard. Like the Plutos are more expensive than the Goofies.
He's DCAing.
DCAing. I asked him if there's anything that he would ever do that with again. He's like, if there's a physical Pluto, probably. I was like, okay. So
I liked Pluto.
Yeah. I don't know. What's your biggest stack?
Stacks. Probably the comics. We have a lot of the originals. But we probably have a stack of 30 of all the, Marvel 1, Fantastic Four.
Oh, wow.
Those, even though like right now they're,
still good though. That's pretty. A lot
of the comic. Yeah, we're stacked in the comics. Doom. I like those long term. That's really what we stack. I told you I'm liking those logos. Maybe not now, but eventually, just knowing David and some of the things he said and the way he thinks, non-financial advice, not 100% total speculative. I do think that there'll be something to those in some form or fashion at some point. Even if it's those with a green logo, get whitelisted for X drop. That's something simple and easy. You know what I mean? That could bring a ton of utility and cost them absolutely nothing. You know what I mean? Kind of like Backhouse does. With the you get a chance to go in early if you own a Backhouse to get the comic. I could see them doing something like that costs them, nothing and gives some utility to those Backhouse. Why wouldn't you do the same thing for free?
And it wouldn't have to be every drop because each drop does have a different color. So you'd be like, oh, if a drop has a red color, well, if you have the secret rare, then you get whitelisted for it. If the drop has a green color, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. And you might not even get whitelisted. Like even if you have a Backhouse, they only pick like 500 people to get whitelisted. You know what I mean? So, even that, if they just wanted to say, in order to give it a go, everybody with the blue logo, okay, we'll pick 500 of those people. 500 people, those people will get a chance to get whitelisted. They could do anything with those. So yeah, that I like those. I think those are a nice play for sure. If I were going to stack anything right now, that would be something I would probably look into.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Oh, there we go. There you go, Fan Bam. It's Tina and Rudy, Fan Bam. Or
did you call me Fan Bam?
No, well, Fan Bam commented. She's like, "Oh, Veve, Arizona. Who are you? I'm in Arizona." So I was looking for the comment that said, "Oh, there we go." And then she's like, "Never mind, Tina and Rudy." You didn't know. Yeah, I feel like that's a really good idea now that we talked about that. I only have the green and white and then the orange and white. I don't have the red or the blue and white ones. Do you have those? Do you have all of them?
We have everything but the blue, and we have multiples of. My husband was fortunate enough to get the red one on the drop. He's been luckier than me lately. What the hell? We got a little stack of oranges, and a few green ones, and no blue yet. Still waiting. I think in time those will. They're already crawling down. We have a very, very short attention span on this app. You know what I mean? Like so short of an attention span. But the second they would mention anything like that, like I said, William also mentioned too that an idea that I didn't quite think of is if we're still paying that money on the app, buying your gems on Apple 30%. He had mentioned something like even if if you buy OMI, on your computer, and with a logo or with green, maybe you get 10% off or something, or you know what I mean, you get a different ratio of gems where that would still benefit them if they're still paying 30. Now, I don't know if they've been able to renegotiate that or if that's just a flat fee that they have to pay out, but that might encourage me, because I'm going to tell you, Randy, I'm lazy. Buy gems on my iPhone, buy gems. And I know it's not good for Veve. I know that I could save them 30%, and I still don't do it. You know what I mean? So maybe if there was anything in it if there was a little bit in it for me, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm going to go spend $100. You know, I'll pay 90 versus,
So
hey, I'm going to go spend $100. You're only going to get 70, you know?
So when you go and you have, when you pay, let's say you buy 100 gems from the app, not from the web app, the web version, from the app, how much does that actually cost you?
I think it's 6%. So if I buy
So
100,
so you not only,
oh yeah, I'm double screwing myself. I'm screwing Veve.
I mean, if that's not going to get you to do it, I'm not sure what will. If it's just that convenience, like, and like I get it, going like, okay, now I have to log into the web app, I have to wait for a code, and I have to set the code, and then I have to buy. I get it. It takes an extra minute or two, but to me, that's worth it if I'm not outside of Veve getting 30% more, which that should be enough. It is for me anyway, but it's the fact that for 100 gems, I have to pay like $108 for it on the app, or if I go on the web version, I just pay the 100, so I save myself more money. But yeah, so if that doesn't get you to do it, I don't know what will. I don't. Maybe if you stake OMI on there, like if you put a bunch of OMI on there, then it says you save some percent. I don't know though.
That makes sense. My husband just said whenever we buy it, when he tries to buy it on the,
it flags us.
It flags us a lot.
It lets Apple Pay go through, but when we try to put money in with the regular credit card on the app, it always flags. Our credit card gets locked, and then we got to call our credit card.
Yeah, that's a credit. That's not that. Yeah, that's the other thing that makes us even more. Yeah, usually our credit card doesn't like it that much.
Yeah, I had to call the bank, and they did it eventually. Like but it was like, yeah, that was a pain.
But yeah, we should do that. Yeah, you're right. We should probably do that for sure. But I don't know. That's just different ideas. You know what I mean? I mean, things that wouldn't necessarily cost them anything, or things that would actually save them money. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to encourage someone. 20% or something like that. If it saves them 10%, 20% might be enough. Plus now we're talking 26%. Yeah, that might absolutely encourage me. Yeah,
that might help.
A little bit more than 6%. You know what I'm saying? So,
no.
But I don't know. I think there's a lot of different things that they could do that won't even cost them, like not even like an airdrop or anything like that. But I was thinking about your dilemma the other day or today. We were talking about that, where you said we're getting new logos, right? From the OG logos, right? I think David had mentioned.
I don't know if they're going to be airdropped or you have to craft them or something. We don't know which yet.
So if you don't get to keep your number, that will suck.
I'll throw a fit. I mean, I'll just be angry for like a day or two. I'll be salty about it forever, but I'll just be like, I'll actually be upset for like a day or two. I'll be like, fudge, man. If it's crafting, then and you have the option to, then I just won't craft. I'll just keep my old one. But if it's like an airdrop,
you need the new one or something to get the, you know what I mean? I don't know. Are they gonna make us? I don't know.
Yeah, and like it's not, that's not something I want to go and like is that like, I feel like I've built up a decent amount of favor with David, and is that the thing I want to like die on? Is that the hill I want to go and be like,
no, that's not the hill you want to die on. No, you don't want to bitch about the free 41 you got, even though, I know it was chance. And I think a lot of people that did get those, they came well deserved. So for the people that did get them, although not maybe purposely, but I think a lot of people that ended up with them.
Even if it is about like utility and they go and they say, hey, if you can keep your old 41, but you won't get any utility for the new logo, I'll just buy a new logo and I'll keep the 41. I'll get the utility that way.
That's smart. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah. None of my
It
stuff
would
will
be
match though.
tainted though. I don't know. I heard you talking in a stream about how you felt that some people like things that aren't necessarily passed around a lot.
Yes.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know about that. Do you think that's going to really, like, in the art world, the reason people like less owners and like it to come close to the source is because of that whole idea of provenance. You know what I mean? Like, if you could show, it was in this artist did it for this family, and then it went to this family, and it only had like 3 owners or 2 owners. That used to be so important, and people used to pay a premium for that because the provenance, it hadn't been to Germany and then over to this family in France, and then the artwork hadn't been all over the place where it could be forged. There was good provenance with it, so the less owners the better was always like coveted with a piece of art. And I just wonder, is that just a carryover? Are we like trying to carry over like that idea that stems back from why it was important not to have a lot of owners into, I don't know. I mean, do people really care if a Pokemon Charizard 10 was owned by 5 people? Like, I don't know. I'm torn on that one. I don't know if I can go with you on that one, but maybe.
So there's a couple of, I'll go with 3 different reasons on, okay, there's 13 reasons. No, 3 different reasons why. One is the one that you said, because it's an old timey thing, of that's just carried over. It's like leftover. It's like, why do men have nipples? Oh, it's because, we all start out as girls, and it's just something that's left over, before we got that Y chromosome. And then so it's just left over. The second thing is that, whether you agree with it or not, whether you care about it or not, it is a thing where guys and girls, I think it's mostly a guy thing though, that they care about their partner's body count. And I think that's one of the things that'll also carry over, saying like, oh, like why? Well, why do you care? It's like, oh, because even though it won't matter to some that it does. Like, oh, when I imagine that, imagine those X amount of owners, like, oh, maybe it makes this less special. For the Pokemon thing, I have seen premiums for cards that have been uniquely certified, as in this is a new certification. Part of that is because the old certifications from PSA, when it was hit or miss, you could have a PSA 10 and it's really like a 9. And then grading evolved, it got better. So that's part of the reason. But the other part of the reason is because, oh, this is a new grade, as in if you're the person that graded this, if you're somebody that graded a PSA 10, that means you either got it, you ripped it directly from the pack, it was yours always, or whoever had it just kept it in pristine condition. So a lot of people really like the new labels because it hasn't been passed around. On the opposite end of that, you'll see people that'll say, there's a trophy Kangaskhan that my friend Scott has, which is the same one as mine. It's just his was just different. His was featured in ASMR magazine. And if you have one of these things, like let's say you happen to have a Todd that was owned by Reese, the way we gave Reese a Todd,
right,
early back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I wasn't there, but you guys were at DCon and you guys all passed it around, right?
Yeah. We had, I don't know, someone gave it to Taps, who gave it to me, who gave it to Johnny Dunn, and so I think that Todd and things like that, if you have, oh, this was Reese's, that can carry a premium. On the opposite end of that, if it's something truly special, it might not matter. Like there was an Aston Martin ad that I saw like years ago. It was this picture of this beautiful woman in the kitchen in like lingerie, and it was just,
yes, because that's how we all cook. Yeah, that in heels and lingerie. That's how I fry chicken.
But absolute smoke show. Sure. And it was an ad for leasing an Aston Martin. And the ad saying was like, you're not the first, but do you really care? So there is that argument against saying like, oh, well, I'm not the first person to have, but it doesn't matter because look what you're getting. Yeah, it's weird, right? I don't know why my brain remembers that. Well, I know why, but yeah, I mean,
think
you also
it's
have
funny that you think. I think it's funny too that you think body count's actually known too by most guys. There's usually like there's a rounding down on that too.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot of girls that would be like, oh, nice, you boinked a small village, congrats to you. I'm not about that. And
Unless
then
you lived in that village, how the hell would you know?
True. It's true. But there is a large amount of people that they feel disgust for, whether it's ants or it's dirt. It's like, ew, I don't want to touch that. And some of that will carry over into like, oh, this had X amount of owners. I don't want it if this person had it. I don't want this. Like it's.
I can get that. I can get that. There are some things I don't want. Yeah. There are some sellers that I will just if I'm buying, I will just say no way. I'm gonna move down.
Same. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on it.
I get that. Yeah, I think for some, but I don't know. Being that there's no degradation, and being that people can't read a blockchain, and being that I don't think the majority of the people that will come into this will want to read the blockchain. You know what I mean? And trace. So I think you'll have a few, but I don't know. I think those are going to be your specialized collectors. But that's just me. I know Naked Whale. I don't know if you know Naked. He's been looking at. He gave me a report, which I haven't gone through, of what my actual what my actual mint numbers are. Yeah.
So that gets multiple layers deep. I don't know how many people will care. I mean, it's cool to know, like, oh, but I don't know how much that'll affect the market, though.
I don't know. I don't know. Would you pay more for a number 41 miles on the blockchain than I don't know. You know what I mean? Then you would a regular 41 or a Veve mint 41.
I wonder if there's any actual ones like, oh, like number one, like even though it's labeled as number 387 or 5,000.
Yeah, I still haven't looked at it. I could ask him that for sure, but I know he's been doing that, and he's trying to still work it all out. I had a few that were pretty good, but I had nothing to write home about. But I need to really look at that and see if any of the number. I don't believe so, though. I think that first batch, but
there's probably going to be a subsection of people like their own little niche community that's like, oh yeah, I got that, and they'll have their place and they'll do their thing. Be really interesting to like cross over. Somebody be like, hey, can I have your number 4,197? Why? No reason.
Yeah. But once again, it's going to take the people. It's not going to be most people, I don't think. It's going to take the people to go in, do the research, know how to read the blockchain data. You know what I mean? Go back, find it, care about it. And then it's going to have to either be intrinsically valuable to them, or they're going to have to but whenever everything is going to be labeled in the Veveverse, remember they said, oh, we're going to let you display your mint numbers, and that's what it's going to be. And that's your mint number. I just don't know. Then you're going to have to convince somebody. Yes, this says 28,470, but the real mint number is 41 or whatever. And I'm going to be like, well, can I display it? No. What is that going to be visible on my app? No. Well, how do you know? Oh, it's real easy. You just tell people to go to the blockchain, go here, go back here, go look there, across. Maybe. I mean, maybe true blockchain heads, but I don't think that's going to be that relevant. That's just my opinion, but what the hell do I know?
I mean, there might be. I mean, it's a new space in the next 20 years. All the new kids will know how to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how these things are moving along.
That's a good point. But then you're going to have to tell people that, you know what I mean? you're gonna have to like put that in notes or something, because that's not something I don't think Veve's gonna get into. Their numbers are their mint numbers, right? That's what's going to be displayed. That's what they talked about. David has talked about that before, that in the comics, even though comics haven't been brought into the showroom yet, but that you're going to be able to display. I remember him saying you're going to be able to display your mint number next, under it's going to be there. So that's why I don't know if that's going to matter so much, but maybe, like I said, maybe. I guess we'll see.
So for the comic in the showroom, I didn't think we were getting that, because we were going to have the Veveverse, and that's like, why do the showroom if we're just going to have it?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Comic,
okay.
But comic somewhere. You know what I mean? Comic,
okay.
Comic. Yeah, I'm sorry, not comic in the showroom. Comic, displayable comics. How about that? In whatever venue.
That would be really cool if one of the accessories was an actual case for the comic. Like, I know, like, the use is like, you want to go and you want to read it, but what if you want to put it in a case? I think that'd be dope.
I can't wait till we get accessories. I think those things are going to be fun and tempting. You know what I mean?
So I know that, then this could be, I don't know if they'll do this, but like, you could have like, here's a comic case. And then what if you get like a comic case that displays like the grade, and you could pay for the grade? Like, maybe that's a little stupid. You're like, you could pay $10 and it could be graded 8.0, or you pay $50 grade like 9.0, or $100 get like a 9.8. Or I don't know if that's stupid or not, because then you'd be like, why would you do that? Like, what's the point? It's still the same comic, and it doesn't really matter.
Comic. Yeah, I can't go with you on that one, Randy. Yeah, I because you're just basically paying for your grade at that point, right? Yeah.
So, Matt, if you go back like a half hour, we went through the logo stuff before. Matt was just asking about the logo utility. But speaking of which, what other utilities? David mentioned that we are going to have more utility for the gold and silver VV logo. What type of new utility do you think we're going to get with that?
Jeez, I don't know. I mean, obviously we've had the airdrop. We've had the T-shirts and the swag bag that they kind of put together for us. I could see, once again, wait list. You know what I mean? Early access kind of thing. I could see something like that. I don't know. What else do you think? Obviously, the potential for maybe an airdrop of some sort. I mean, that's always a potential, right? With anything that Veve can control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are your thoughts? What else do you think they could do to bring utility to that? That would be.
I mean, the community's already going pretty wild. Sanjay be throwing major ragers.
It's for everyone, though. You don't have to have a logo to go to those parties.
I would say, if they're not doing I'm gonna say that they're not. Maybe a raffle that you would, let's say it costs X amount of money for a raffle, and they say, here we have extra tickets to Comic-Con, and the raffle is going to cost like $50, and we get a free raffle ticket because we have one. Like, they're not going to give us something; they just give us a free raffle ticket, and maybe something like that. I mean, it's going to get harder and harder to see them at these events as more people come in, and it's, like, maybe they say, okay, we'll rent out this room for an hour, and you can get in if you have a logo, like, just to be with them. I mean, that's a question I have for you also. How are you going to go, and as your person just by itself, a Queen Veve character gets more popular, Twitter spaces grow, and you're appearing on everyone's YouTube, how are you going to, like, decide for your fans who are, like, have been here for a year or more versus the people that get in like 3 years and they just want to fanboy or fangirl at you? Like, how do you choose, like, who to interact with on, like, a daily basis?
Gosh, that's tough. You know what? There's people that I interact with on a daily basis, or at least a weekly basis. I mean, if you know what I mean? Like, I know that a lot of us, at least from a content creator standpoint, I think we all pretty much interact together. I mean, I think there's a good, for the most part. I mean, you have a few outliers or a few people who have gone in other directions. But I think for the most part, it's nice that, a lot of us kind of, keep in touch, Jordan, Comics and Crypto, Sleeping, my collects. I think we'll always pretty much at least, be able to kind of hang out. But then there's also those daily people, like Clever, who I've never speaks, but I've had tons of conversations with Clever. You know what I mean? Like, just, right? I mean, the people who've been with you for a while and who are there giving you the comments and watching you and interacting with you. I mean, but obviously there's room for new people. I came in after the boom. You know what I mean? Like, things were going absolutely just crazy. And then I didn't even start doing Queen's Court. It's not even a year yet for me. You know what I mean? I think August, it's going to be a year. It was summer. So, yeah. I haven't even.
What are you going to do for the 1-year anniversary?
Gosh, I don't know. It's so hard right now, Randy, to have guests because, I was talking to my husband about this. Like, it's really rough because we're just in a period where, you're bringing people on, etc. And it's kind of like the same things, you know what I mean? And trying to just make it a little bit different, a little bit more interesting is getting harder and harder. You know what I mean? Like, so what do you feel is going to drive the price of OMI? What kind of things are you looking forward to? What kind of things are in your collection and that kind of thing. So it gets hard. I was thinking I might like to have, my husband had an idea, maybe bring somebody who's intimately familiar with the new Apple Vision Pro. Maybe that might be a good guest to have on. Maybe him. It's just getting harder and harder because it's hard. You don't want to be repetitive. You know what I mean? And like right now, it's just that lull. In at least I think for a lot of us, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's hard.
I mean, when we talked before, I feel like everyone, maybe it might not matter because everyone's always looking to talk Veve. Like, they live and breathe this space. Even the haters, even the ones that it's like when Lindsay Lohan was in Mean Girls, is like charged to take down Regina George, but she got obsessed with her, and every time, she'd want to talk about her, and when she wasn't talking about her, she would hope that someone else would bring her up so that she could talk about her. I feel like that's a lot of these people that, like with Veve, like they're just, nothing else matters.
Yeah,
It's
we have
like
an
when people,
amazing group of fudders too, by the way. I mean, they are just, they're just amazing. There's a few that like everything we post, it's like they got a shitty comment on there, and I'm like, do you not have anything better to do than do this? But I guess,
really not.
Crypto Rain said that's a sign of strength. You know what I mean? When people stop giving a shit, then you're in trouble. So, I that's actually a good thing. If people, still have that fight in them to be, shitty and to give us to harass us and stuff, the eyes are still there. You know what I mean? The eyes are still, and Veve is far from dead. But yeah, I noticed there was a tweet we were all in, and I can't remember if it was Veve Viral, and he said back to somebody, he said, please stop tagging me in your tweets. You know what I mean? He said, please just stop tagging me, So I just don't even engage because I feel like that's what people, I feel like that's what a lot of those people want, though. You know what I mean? They want to get a rise out of you. They want attention. I mean, bottom line is they want attention because there's a lot of things out there that I don't agree with or I don't think are good projects, but I don't go sit in their spaces and torment them. Like, why the hell would you do? Like, there's probably like 10 spaces right now on projects that I think are completely stupid rug pulls, but I don't go in there and get pleasure out of telling these people that I think they're stupid and that they're in a rug pull project. Like, do your thing. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit enough to go in and tell Angry Bears, the Angry Bear community, that they're crazy. So, I mean, I just find that so strange. You have to care maybe to do that, right? Or
Yeah, I mean, I could see
why
if
else
it
do it?
was if you were in a project that was actually doing better than another project, and then you go in that particular project to share and be like, oh, my project did this, and my project's better because we have more sales. And like, I could almost understand that because you're like very much gloating in the worst way that your team is actually winning and they're doing something.
Agree.
And I'm not saying that other projects there aren't good aspects to other projects because there are. And let's say like Hero has some tech that some implementations on their app that Veve doesn't have yet.
Yeah.
Bundles and transfers
Burning
and
and yeah.
yeah, and you could do stuff with OMI on Immutable X. But I feel like a lot of these fudders are. It's not like they're on another team and they're trying to go and say like, hey, we're winning, we're doing better. Like it's just they're not. Like there's nothing that they're trying to brag about.
Yeah, they don't even have another team.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them. I mean, the one that there's one that pretends like he's Veve, and then there's a few other one that pretends like he's somebody else every day, and it's like, what? Like I said, there's so many things in this world that I disagree with, or people that I think are doing something foolish or whatever. But why would I waste why on earth would I waste my energy and my life is fucking short. Why am I going to go in there and just harass people for no good reason? Like,
I
I
mean,
don't know. It's surprising, but
there's also I feel like a lot of these people, a lot of these fudders, you said life is short, but in the great words of Logan Huntsberger, you could be alive for 100 years and not really live a minute of them.
yeah,
And there's a couple of these people, and I won't say who, that have like never left their hometown. There's a couple of these people that have
well, they've
they
never
just
left their
haven't.
mom's basement. Some of them. What are you talking about?
I love you so much.
you know, I'm right.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. But there's some people that just they don't have any life experience, and it's okay. Well, this is big for them. This is
That's
like,
a good point.
and it's the fact doing something and like, oh, this is the best thing that I'll do all week. It's like, oh, like if they weren't such a-holes, I would feel bad. And part of me wants to. You ever see Remember the Titans?
Yes.
And Gary's talking to Julius when they're at camp, and he's just like, I think you're nothing but a waste of God-given talent. You don't listen to nobody, man. And I want to feel that way, and I want to like actually have a conversation with some of these people, like, hey, you're a good entertainer, and you're effective at what you do, and imagine what you could do if you did the right thing, and you didn't lie, and you didn't go and try to talk yourself out and try to be something that you're not. Like, I want to be a good person and to do and to say that, but
Yeah.
the other part of me thinks like, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve my help. And like, well, maybe they do. Maybe they need someone to read. I don't know what to do. Like, I know probably what I should do, but why reward someone with bad behavior? I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Even today, I'm like, just I was in a group or something. I'm just like, just let it go. And someone surprisingly put, yeah, I agree, but it is amusing to watch idiots make fools of themselves, or so, something to that effect. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I guess it is kind of, but I still, like I said, I don't get it. Like you said, at least if they were coming in and battling with a project, like, but it's not. It's just, let me just shit on you and just try to make you miserable and try to make you feel bad. And then that's going to bring me happiness. And that's just like so strange to me. That's such a strange concept to me. Like, if I don't like something or I don't want to be in it, my God, I would not stalk the people who are in it and then, try to bring them down. But I don't know. But going back to the Animoca kind of thing, I wanted to ask you, when Veve Vault, OG Vault, was on the Queen's Court, he was very respectful and didn't have too many, I don't think anything really bad to say about Veve, which I think has shifted a little bit lately. I think he did call it dead. But one of the things that I thought he said that was really interesting, and I'm not sure, but he said when Quid was trying to get him on board, because I know a lot of us were approached by Quid. I'm pretty sure you actually made a video and basically said, hell no. If I remember correctly, I did not end up taking Quid bucks or anything. I did have their CEO, Mike, on the Queen's Court, and he was very informative. And, he was on there twice. We actually talked, but I never ended up being a Quid rep. I think Comics and Crypto got a little bit in with him. But one of the things that he had said is when they sent over the agreement to him, the NDA, which he did not sign, he said, or the agreement to be a ambassador or whatever it is. He said that there was specific verbiage in the contract that said whenever you're referring to Quid, that you need to bring Veve up along with it.
Oh, that's strange.
Now, like I said, I did not see it. This is Queen's Court documented. He said that it was in there, and I think he didn't say it said anything that you had to FUD them. You know what I mean? It said nothing about talking badly about them. But I believe the point was, maybe when you start to put a project on the same level as the giant, then you'll start being looked at as the giant. Like, that's the way that I kind of thought of it. Like, maybe that was the reason for that. You know what I mean? That was
that makes
in
sense.
there. Now, I don't know if you ever got to that point with them, but I thought that was really interesting that they expected the content creators to make sure that Veve was mentioned in the same context as Quid on the videos.
So to go back in time a little bit, when they had first reached out, it was a year. It was year and a half ago. It was a long time ago. In
Probably about a year.
Quid time. In
about a year.
Time.
Yeah.
It was just to pay X amount of dollars to make a video, and they didn't specify on exactly what the video had to be about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna do I will do a deep dive, the good and the bad. I didn't tell them what I was gonna do. I was like, okay, well, before we get into anything, let's discuss the payment. And I was like, like $1,000, and I'll do, give an honest review of it. And they had, I don't know I forget what it was, close to that. They want to do like 600 or 800, something like that. But they wanted to pay me in Quid token. And I was like, listen, you want to, what I'm going to do with this. I'm absolutely going to floor this. But their Quid token had, I think, a couple $1,000s in volume a day. I was like, so you want me to go and pay me in your Quid token that has next to no volume? You want me to dump on all the people that have it? I no, this one, I didn't like that for two reasons. One, I wanted USDT, and two, shame on the company for trying to do that. The other thing that I didn't notice until I think almost 6 months or a year later between that time, is that they had gone on, I forget what TV show or crypto show, whatever it was, and they had really talked crap about Veve, like a lot. And a month or two after,
right? Before your offer, right?
No, this was after.
Oh, okay.
I think this was after.
Okay.
And then they had, after that, they lost the Marvel license. And I was like, okay, so suddenly I don't know what came first. Maybe it was private that Marvel was leaving, and that's why they were talking crap about Veve, or they were talking crap about Veve, and that's how they lost the Marvel license.
Right.
Either way, that made me never even consider doing any type of business with them.
Yeah, there was some blood there with their previous communications. There was some back and forth there. And when Bromwich came on the Queen's Court, that was actually going to be his, when we talked, he had said, he wanted to address and kind of make amends and kind of clean the air, and said, you know, we got rid of this person since this happened. And you know, he did really well. We had a lot of people in the space. And then like at one point he said, but I do want to point out they started it. Veve started it. And I was like, you were doing so good. You know? I'm like, why would you do that? And he actually said, my people are going to get really mad when I say this, but can I just point out Veve did start it? And I was just like, Mike, you just did so well talking about how we're all a community and blah, 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 you know, and he just did so well. And then like on minute 40 or something, he goes, no, I know I shouldn't say this, Lori. I know my people are going to get really mad. He's like, but can I just point out that Veve did start the feud? And I'm like, okay, Mike. You know? So I don't really know what happened, Randy. You know, there was a lot of things that must have preceded that, but there's definitely some bad blood between the two.
I mean, at the end of the day, and like I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, if you know, don't always, you know, bend the knee to the king, but know what you're getting into. Where if you want to try to make Veve an enemy, you want to try to like, you can do that for so long. Like, yeah, they're focused on stuff now. They won't always be. And you know, thankfully, David is a very, very nice person, and I love Dan. Dan's a little mean, but I love him.
Dan's ornery. Let's call Dan ornery.
Yeah,
he's nice Dan's when he's drunk, though. He's very nice when he's drunk.
I love him so much. I just want to give him the biggest hug. I always do. But Veve could crush you with an iron fist. And why would you want to piss off the owners of a multi-billion-dollar company? That just shows insane immaturity. That shows wicked stupidity. There is so again, I don't want to say bend the knee to the king. Always just bend over and take it, but know who you're trying to combat, man, and do so at your own peril. That's
right. But even so, I think, Randy, even with the people that they did get to put videos out, free or not, I had Mike on the Queen's Court. I gave him the opportunity. Let's talk about the project. Asked him good questions about why. He brought up really, some good points about, some of the things are going to be blockchain, all that interoperability. He had some really, he had some good points. I think Sean did some work, had him on, was doing a little bit of promotion for that. Obviously, Cavell went full on quid. And it obviously, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if all the Veve content creators jump on board quid. The people just aren't following there. I mean, the community just, we're not going there. It doesn't matter what the influencer, I hate to say it, but, Cavell, it doesn't matter that he was, saying this project's great. You did not see a bunch of people rushing to put their money into quid. So, influencer or not, you still have to have a solid product and something that people like and a good market and trust. And Marvel helps too, by the way. You know what I mean? And they don't have it. So the community didn't follow. That just tells me, A, the influencers only have so much influence, and B, the product isn't up to the standard that the Veve community is used to.
Yeah.
So,
it's
it is what it is. I didn't jump, and I like Mike. I thought Mike was great. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to go in and buy anything in there yet.
Right.
I think the baseball cards, the Panini cards, those were probably the nicest thing that my husband and I talked about on Quid.
If how are they doing now? How are the sales and the numbers that they have?
I don't know, but I know before the interview when I was looking through all the data, and that was at the start of the bear market, or we were going into the bear market when things started to dump down. We were looking at their sales, and their top sales were Marvel up to their whole lifetime. You could see all their sales, and Marvel was number one. And then
they lost their number one.
And then, well, you can't even do anything. You can't trade. You can't sell. you can do absolutely nothing with your Marvel collectibles
Yeah.
on there. Nothing. So
I wonder who, if they did talk about, if Marvel decided to drop them after they talked crap about Veve, I wonder who initiated that. Is David really a shark behind the scenes and just get like
be
dump him?
badass? Bow to your king, or I will break you.
Oh yeah, or was it?
I know we
Or is
think he's
David just
sweet.
like,
He's probably like this killer. He's probably like the stone cold killer.
could you imagine, like, what if David had this routine where every time before he crushes the competition, he gets in suspenders, he puts on an orange wig, and he's Chucky incarnate, and that's why he loves his son so much. And then he has like a rubber knife in his hand, and he's like, "Hey, Marvel, dump him." What if he does that every time?
How could Marvel? Here's the thing: they had a really shitty contract then to begin with, is my opinion, and maybe it was just too early. But that should have been maybe not for future Marvel drops, but that content should have been locked in. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what happened there. It seems like it was never there in the first place, or there would have been some legal action taken. You know what I mean? Because I can't imagine Marvel just coming in, right now with Veve and just saying, you're done. Everything's gone. You can't market anything. At least I pray that's not the case. I hope that we were, smart enough to say, this is this. You could stop moving forward, but going back, this is our agreement. And, you can't just go back and pluck these off like they did on Marvel, because, I mean, we don't see any action against Marvel from Quid. So, and then Marvel was saying they were using them in a way that wasn't the intent. So I think they kind of sold him that it was going to be like a snap, like a game thing, not a money thing. And that's why they were able to go back and do it. But oh my God, that'd be so hardcore if that's what David did.
Even if I got David on the podcast again and I asked him like about it, there's no way that's 100% his private. There's no way he would ever say that.
He would never tell us that. He'd never tell us that. I don't even think he'd tell us that, Randy, at the side of the bar in New York with no one else around. I mean, you know what? He might say, yeah, that's what I did. And if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. You know what I mean?
It'd be like, I'll suspend your account. Like, dude,
I'll suspend your account.
He puts on like a fake mustache when he does it to make him evil David. Oh God, that would be. I would. One David NFTs. One David NFTs on
I
Veve.
could totally see that. Hey, sometimes you got to be ruthless to get ahead in business. So you don't know, but that would be funny.
I would. Maybe at Comic-Con we'll corner him and we'll ask him. They're like, what happened?
You could
tell us the story. I was like, yeah, David, pay attention to Lori. Okay, now speaking to the mic.
Well, I remember I asked Al Kahn. That was my first question to Al Kahn is, did we structure our contract a little bit better than Quid, our licensing agreement with Quid, so that how can we know that this didn't happen? And he said, oh, you're going to have to ask David. And then, David came on like 30 minutes later because David wasn't even supposed to be there. And then I kind of forgot to ask David. So I could always go back and ask David that question next time. And then I could say, well, Randy and we have a theory.
I'm going to travel with you real quick as I go into the basement and I turn over the laundry because I did not turn over laundry before. Wondering if you have I'm gonna turn on the light here. It's scary in this basement. Okay. If we go and we take a look at New York Comic Con and how much alone time we could get with David, could we do like an impromptu spaces or an impromptu thing? Be like, hey, we're live on YouTube and you're live on Twitter on the Queen's Court or something like that. Or is that like is New York Comic Con gonna be too wild?
That would be cool. I'm sure we could, but you know what? David is always so crazy at those cons because he's the one running around. I saw him like unpacking the t-shirts and he really does a lot. I think if we were going to do that, we might want to like maybe get him put like a half an hour aside, maybe the night of one of the parties or something. You know how like we had a separate room last time, or we had that little like VIP section last time?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that to get him on. Just say, hey, let's just do this for like, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. I don't know.
I can picture that. Even if Marvel did, going back to what we were talking about before, even if Marvel did go and say, or if they wanted to go and say, hey, Veve, you're done.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do with all their stuff? We have all of their first appearances. Like the Spider-Man, the Daredevil, the Thor. Like, there's nothing I think that would be. I don't know. Like, what else could they do?
Like
they could
I
drop
said,
their own platform.
I still want to get that question answered. I still would like to know if there's anything contractually to prevent that quid disaster from happening to Veve. I mean, that is a serious threat. If they could up and do that to quid, and I'm not saying that they ever would, but you never know. You know what I mean? Like, you have no idea. Iger could retire, and someone can come in. You never know what could happen. But I would, I'm really curious to see how they do, or if David would answer, what is to prevent that from happening to us, to Veve and to our collectibles. And I don't know the answer to that.
Good point.
But anyway,
you're frozen. Should we end it here?
Yeah, that sounds good. It's 10:02.
I do have to. I do want to tell you about one thing off camera, or maybe
Okay.
two things.
Okay.
But, all right, so I'll end it here. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Bill Gardner, for the super chat. So, and everyone say bye to Dashi. Thank you, Laura, for coming on. Oh, there you are. Yeah.
I was here. I just had to turn my camera.